It's Canada's Day, and what better way to celebrate it than with Canada's Game? We have 2 games to kick off the CFL season. In Game 1 earlier today, Winnipeg got off to a quick start, leading the Alouettes 14-0. But back came Montreal, with Mike Pringle leading the way with 2 rushing touchdowns, as the Als prevailed 27-24. Game 2 should provide more fireworks on the field than in the sky when East meets West. Hamilton's own Mike Morreale leads the new-look Hamilton Tiger Cats into battle at McMahon Stadium to face Vince Danielson and the Calgary Stampeders, who are the favorites out west this season. So sit back and enjoy Canada's Day as TSN rings in the CFL season with Canada's Game.
A live look at Calgary, Alberta, where they're wearing red and white today, not just for Canada's birthday, but also to cheer on their Stampeders. Yes, the tailgaters in Calgary are ready for some football, and so are we here at TSN Control. Hey everybody, once again, happy Canada Day. My name is James Duffy, and welcome to the second half of our CFL opening day doubleheader. Now, if you weren't with us this afternoon, well, then I owe you some introductions. With me tonight and all season long, Chris Schultz, former offensive lineman with the Toronto Argonauts, and before that, the Dallas Cowboys, and Eric Tillman, the former general manager of the BC Lions and the Toronto Argonauts. And guys, everybody excited in Hamilton with the arrival of Ron Lancaster, of Darren Flutie, and of Danny McManus, but still some big holes in the offensive line.
Oh, James, absolutely. Now that the Hamilton Ticats have Danny McManus as well, you have to protect him, and this may be a big issue because of these facts. 3 out of the 5 starters in this football game for the Ticats have extreme limited experience in the Canadian Football League, and specifically in the pass-blocking style of football that we play in Canada, and the intricacies involved. And really, Eric, that plays in very well for what Calgary wants to accomplish tonight.
Well, interestingly enough, Chris, improving the defensive front 7 is one of Calgary's top off-season priorities. It should be a very interesting battle up front. If Calgary is going to win the West, they're going to have to play defense like the Calgary of old, not the Calgary of 1997.
All right, we're going to be watching the Battle of the Trenches right here in the studio. For the rest of this game's story, let's send it out to John Wells and Glenn Suter.
Thanks, James, and happy Canada Day once more from McMahon Stadium in Calgary. What we've got here tonight is 2 quarterbacks who have staged some fierce competitions against each other through the years right here at McMahon Stadium. Jeff Garcia and Danny McManus. And Glenn, while McManus has changed his stripes one more time, he is still the same intense competitor.
He certainly is, John. Danny McManus is a great leader, and quite simply, he knows how to win. In his last 3 years, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards, had a great season again last year with 22 touchdowns, and a lot of those touchdowns to his favorite target, which is Darren Flutie. And boy, those two have hooked up right here at McMahon Stadium a few times and in Commonwealth. McManus and Darren Flutie. Flutie's caught about 400 passes from Danny McManus over those 5 years. A lot of them right here at McMahon Stadium. Of course, last year they came back and Darren Flutie helped to beat the Calgary Stampeders with McManus when they were in Edmonton. And then, of course, everyone remembers 1994 when they were members of the BC Lions and beat Calgary on the last play of the game right here.
And for the record, Danny McManus won the shootout on opening day against the Stampeders here at McMahon Stadium last year. Jeff Garcia is back after knee surgery, and he's feeling extremely confident. Wally Buono doesn't think he's passed the football any better than he has in the early start of this 1998 season. The numbers on Jeff Garcia include a 3-time Western All-Star selection. He has 33 touchdowns in 1997, only 14 interceptions.
Well, he certainly had a great season last year, was the runner-up to Doug Flutie as the most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League, and he came in with great confidence. He's been more vocal in the preseason, more vocal in meetings, and Wally Buono is really confident that he's ready to take his game to another level, which would be scary for opposing defenses.
Garcia has an awful lot of weapons. He'll use them all here tonight. The Tiger Cats need a quick start because they haven't won at McMahon Stadium since 1988. Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, a perfect place to celebrate Canada's 131st birthday as part of his CFL doubleheader on TSN. Tiger Cats are in town with a guarantee that this season will be much better than 97 on a perfect night here. And the Stampeders, with very few changes, look to be the team to beat in the West. Ron Lancaster begins his first season in Hamilton with a defense that's steel town tough and an offense that's full of question marks. No doubt, though, the Tiger Cats will be much better than last year.
Wally Buono is the Stamps' all-time winningest coach. He has guided the Stamps to a first-place finish 6 out of the last 8 years. The only time Wally Buono has ever lost a home opener as the head coach of this team was last year versus the Edmonton Eskimos, and guess who was coaching then for them?
Mark McLaughlin is set to kick this thing off, and there's a great new rule in Canadian football this year that if McLaughlin puts this thing out of bounds, the Tiger Cats have the option of taking the football at the 45-yard line, which is great field position. And obviously, McLaughlin's going to try and keep it in play.
Well, no question. That's one of the rule changes this year, John. And if he does kick it out of bounds, it's an extra 10 yards for the receiving team. So Mark McLaughlin's going to want to keep this well within bounds, and that means the return game opens up a little bit.
Joe Higgins is one of the deep backs for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as the Stampeders get this season underway. It is Higgins who will start at linebacker on the return for Hamilton out across the 45 and to the 50-yard line. Starting lineups brought to you by Midas Car Care. The way it should be. Hamilton's starting quarterback Danny McManus engineered a 2-touchdown comeback for the Eskimos in the season opener against Calgary right here 1 year ago. Darren Flutie will be his key target with Mike Morreale and Andrew Gregg as first-time starters. And it's a little scary for the Tiger Cats along the offensive line with only one returnee from 1997. That is Val St. Germain. Ticats begin at the 50-yard line. It's first down. McManus for Ronald Williams. And he has 5 yards.
Well, the defense for the Calgary Stampeders looks like this in the front 7. Steve Anderson, Bronzell Miller, Jeff Traversy, and Jermaine Miles up front. They're going to need some pass rush out of those 4. In the secondary, the change is Jack Kellogg. Wally Buono feels like these guys can play man-to-man, so he's going to be more aggressive on defense this year.
Ticats have newcomer Bobby Olive split to one side. Andrew Gregg to the other on 2nd and 5 with flags down. McManus on target. And it'll be a Tiger Cat first down as Flutie has his first regular season catch for Hamilton.
Greg Knox, number 8, with the tackle.
Well,
I didn't notice the infraction.
The head linesman threw the flag, John. It's probably some procedure for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Offside.
Calgary 92.
Or it could be offside Calgary. 17-yard gain will stand for the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, and it's a good start for Danny McManus and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Steve Anderson's the guy who was offside. And you know, in the first game of the regular season, everyone's really anxious. He's up at the top of your screen right here. Just going to get a jump on the snap count and get in that neutral zone.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Tiger Cats at the Stampeder 38-yard line. Just underway, McMahon Stadium in Calgary. McManus from the shotgun has time and has Mike Morreale. He's down to the 30-yard line and close to another Ticat first down. He's actually about 2 yards shy. Morreale, a Canadian, celebrating this day as a first-time starter in Canadian football.
Well, he had a pretty good season last year. You see 466 yards and a couple of touchdowns. It was his personal best, but Ron Lancaster wants Mike Morreale to step it up again this season. He's going to be the starting slot back. It was his job in training camp to lose. He kept it, and they're going to look for him for big things this year.
Second down, it's a long 2 for the Cats.
Morreale heads to the sidelines. It's second down. Hamilton needing 2 yards for the first down. And Ronald Ronald Williams should have it. Ticats say they have the first down, no flags anywhere. So this has been an impressive opening for the Tiger Cats at McMahon Stadium.
Ron Williams is going to provide a lot of running game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Archie Amerson is the tailback, but Ron Williams, who comes over from Winnipeg last season, also gives Ron Lancaster another threat to run the football. He had over 1,000 yards rushing last year, so Ron has a double threat behind Danny McManus this year.
He also led the CFL in rushing touchdowns with 16. First down, Hamilton. Williams again broke one tackle. He's inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line.
Almost 9 yards.
You know, Ron Williams really had amazing stats last year, John. When you think about his 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns, that happened over 14 games. He had some problems in Winnipeg, some personal problems that he worked out with Jeff Reinbold. He's a big, strong running back that can hit the hole hard. Ron Lancaster looks for big things.
He's been impressive so far in this game and impressive in the preseason. Lancaster called him a horse. That's the way he's been running tonight.
That's a good description.
2nd and 1, and the Ticats have another first down.
In quickly on that one.
Lancaster said he wanted to run the ball a bit tonight, and he's done so on the opening drive with Ronald Williams in his first year as a Tiger Cat.
And it's just over a yard. First down for Hamilton.
This is a type of start, John, that Danny McManus wanted to have coming in this game. Move the football down the field, get some field position, and come away with some points just to get the rust off and show the guys that they can do it.
305 yards in the preseason for McManus. 1st and 10 as this Ticat drive continues at the Stampeders 17. McManus getting a little heat now. He escapes and found a target, but it's a Stampeder picked off. Far side of the field. McManus throws up his first interception to William Hampton in his 2nd year with Calgary.
Well, the play took a long time to develop, John. Danny McManus had a lot of time initially. He wanted to go to the field side or the left side of Danny McManus. He's looking over there, but the great coverage downfield didn't allow him to throw the football. When he turns and runs out, he throws that wide side or the short side out late. That gives William Hampton a chance to break on it and makes a nice play on the football. And then Danny McManus, of course, has to come over and make the tackle.
1st and 10, Stampeders in the count.
So the Stampeder defense snuffs out the drive. William Hampton with the interception. He had 4 last season. Garcia at the controls for Calgary. Near side, on target. The gain is a couple of yards. Danielson made the catch. The starting Stampeder quarterback, Jeff Garcia, looked great in preseason. After having knee surgery last November, he fired 33 touchdown passes last year. And he has great targets. Travis Moore, Terry Vaughn, Alan Pitts, Vince Danielson. Kelvin Anderson will run the ball behind a veteran offensive line anchored by Rocco Romano. 2nd and 7, Stampeders at the 30-yard line. No score at McMahon in Calgary. Garcia spots an opening and takes off. He'll be short of the first down.
Tripped up by number 73, Calvin Tiggle. After
The linebacker in the middle of things for the Tiger Cats, Calvin Tiggle, the leader on the Hamilton defense, made the stop.
You know, and when you look at Jeff Garcia come off the field, John, you just get the sense that he wants to score every single time he has the football. That was the first drive of the game. No big deal. You don't get the first down, you punt the football. Garcia's already frustrated.
Tony Martino averaged 44.4
Tony Martino's
in 97.
Let's go, dude.
Steinauer and Bobby Olive deep for the Tiger Cats. Martino got a little pressure, got a deep kick away. Steinauer. Returning for Hamilton, and special teams have not been a strong suit, according to Ron Lancaster, in the early going of the 1998 season. We'll be right back. McMahon Stadium in Calgary, Stampeders and the Tiger Cats are here this Canada Day. Danny McManus has tossed his first interception of the season. No harm done, really, but he really shouldn't have thrown the ball.
Well, you know, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats could have come away with some points, at least 3 points in that drive, but the defense stood up and stopped Calgary on their first possession, so Ron Lancaster sees his offense have another shot at it. The good thing is, and the positive thing is for Danny McManus, they did put a drive together initially.
They moved the ball effectively with Ronald Williams. McManus goes to the far side on first down. Andrew Grigg And he comes close to a first down, up and over the Tiger Cat bench. Andrew Grigg, another new Tiger Cat starter. He had a pretty good season in 1997 and really won a job. But when you look at Grigg and Morreale, there are two keys to the Hamilton offense this year because they're playing as non-imports and they really need production from these two guys.
Yeah, and what Ron Lancaster likes about Andrew Grigg is look at that average, 20.3. That was third best in the CFL last year. And that means when he catches the football, he does something with it afterwards. He'll break a couple of tackles and go hard, and that's what Lancaster loves about Grigg.
Grigg picked up 9. This is 2nd and 1. McManus a little option. He missed Amerson. It's a loose ball. Picked up by Coleman. Now he threw it ahead. There's a flag down. McManus just shoveled it ahead.
Well, it's a play that I have never seen Danny McManus try and run. You know, we talked to Ron Lancaster in the yesterday at practice and a little bit earlier this afternoon, and we're joking with him about the running ability or lack of that with Danny McManus. He said in the game in the preseason,
offside, Calgary 45. It'll be a first down.
Well, that's a big penalty. It was one of the games in the preseason. Danny McManus took off running and had more yards in that one play than he did all last season in Edmonton. And he joked about him if he was ready to run the option. Well, they put the option in for Danny McManus. That was the play. He doesn't run this play very often. The option is that Danny McManus can either run or pitch it to Amerson. Well, the Calgary defense knows that Danny McManus is not going to run and flies over to Amerson.
But that was a pass because he threw it ahead, so it wouldn't have been Calgary ball anyway, right?
As long as it was forward.
It was forward.
Okay.
Tiger Cats escape with a first down on the penalty against the Stampeders.
1st and 10 at the Hamilton 52.
McManus looking quickly far side, and he has Grigg again.
Grigg, number 89, with the catch in front of Hampton.
Really nice design play to Andrew Grigg from Danny McManus. Andrew Grigg is running just a straight fade route or streak route. He's right at the top, just going to run straight down the sideline. The play is designed for Danny McManus to throw the ball behind Grigg. William Hampton doesn't have a chance. He's got to get up to the upfield shoulder. Grigg turns around, sees the ball, and makes the catch. It's a design play to throw the ball slightly behind the receiver. Grigg knows where it's going. William Hampton doesn't.
Couple of big plays for Andrew Grigg. 20 yards on the last one. Ticats are inside the Stampeder 40. McManus tips. McClanahan had an opportunity to get a hand on it.
Anthony McClanahan, John, just may have saved a touchdown. Danny McManus was looking across the field to open Darren Flutie. And one of those Calgary Stampeders linebackers got his hands on that football. You look to the right of your screen, it's Daryl Hall, number 4. He just gets his hand. Look how open Darren Flutie is in behind Eddie Davis in the coverage. That ball gets off, and Darren Flutie has a touchdown.
McClanahan made a big effort to try and come up with a loose ball. Here's McManus stepping up and throwing. Tight coverage by Hampton. Maybe a little too tight. There's a flag down.
And a flag is down in the secondary.
Well, the play, John, was designed for Archie Amerson to be one-on-one with Daryl Hall, and Daryl Hall did a nice job of coverage. McManus basically had to throw that one away.
Couple of key penalties against the
Deliberate
Stampeders.
forward pass interference, Calgary 21, first down.
So Hampton is detected there, number 21 for the Stampeders.
Well, you see the holding right there. William Hampton grabbing onto the back of Andrew Grigg's jersey, giving him a little push before the ball arrives.
So the Tiger Cats are inside the 25 once more. Still 0-0 at McMahon Stadium on CFL Live. Ronald Williams stopped initially, fought his way for a couple more, and then dragged down by a bunch of Stampeders, including 96, Bronzell Miller.
Bronzell Miller, number 96, and Steve Anderson.
You know, I find it interesting, the Hamilton set right now. What they're trying to do is get Archie Amerson to release out of the backfield and try and get in out wide in the formation and take a linebacker with him. Right now, you'll see Archie Amerson, number 9, the right of your screen. See how he widens. That takes a linebacker with him. Then he's going to give the ball to Ron Williams. They've been running out of this set all this first quarter. Now, Calgary probably schemed for Archie Amerson to carry the ball, and they're doing it the other way.
Looked like procedure there. Eddie Davis was through on top of McManus rather quickly as well, so we'll sort the penalties
procedure. Hamilton 68.
Dave Hack gets the penalty. The right tackle. He's a newcomer to that Hamilton offensive line. You know, I talked to
Everybody else up.
Well, I talked to Pat Perlis before the game about this offensive line. He said, "Well, I'm still introducing myself to them all."
Well, he met Hack about 3 days ago, and 2 days after that, he met Chris Burns, who flew in from Calgary. Burns is dressed as a backup tonight. So lots of changes up front for the Tiger Cats. 2nd and 10. McManus using the shotgun. And Ronald Williams played it perfectly. So did McManus. He's inside the 5-yard line to about the 3. Perfect little delayed drop play.
Well, this draw play was executed to perfection from a rookie offensive line that haven't played well together. Nice job on the shotgun draw play to Ron Williams, but he was untouched as he hit that line of scrimmage.
He is a horse. 21 yards the gain there. Williams has 6 carries for 43 already, and there's the offensive line we were talking about. Carl Coulter at center. Franco Rocca and Val St. Germain at guards. Dave Hack and Seth Dittman are the tackles. Ticats are 1st and goal at the Stampeder 4, and Williams gets about halfway there, and then he's forced back. Stampeders are really looking for a lot of pressure from that group up front. Miles, Traversy, Miller, and Anderson.
Well, Jeff Traversy had a great preseason, and he had a good training camp, and Wally Bono's hoping that he gets that push up the middle. You know, if you're inside 2 guys can get a good push, it leaves the outside guys in one-on-ones more time than not. That'll be Steve Anderson and Jermaine Miles. So you need some good push up the middle from your inside guys, and Jeff Traversy has provided that in the preseason.
Gain is 1, 2nd and goal from the 3, and there it is. Touchdown, Archie Amerson. A great drive for the Tiger Cats. They've had a couple, but they get to the end zone on this one. Hamilton draws first blood at McMahon Stadium in Calgary.
And John, I think they take advantage of a miscue in the Calgary secondary, because I can't believe that the Calgary defense would ask Jermaine Miles to go out and try and cover Archie Amerson. Amerson's to the right of your screen just releasing, and Jermaine Miles sees him and tries to pick him up, but that's a mismatch that Hamilton would take every single time. Jermaine Miles is a great pass rusher and a good defensive lineman, but he's tough when it comes to covering a running back out of the backfield.
Paul Osbaldiston makes it 7-0 for the visiting Hamilton Tiger Cats. Ron Lancaster has to be happy with what he's seen thus far in his debut as the Ticat head coach. Super start to the new season for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who score first against the Calgary Stampeders. This is Coleman on the return for Calgary, and he's out near the 27-yard line. Amerson has the touchdown, and this is the way they really want to use Archie Amerson.
Yeah, it is. He released him out of the backfield, and I stand corrected. It wasn't a miscue in the Calgary defense. Calgary got caught in a stunt. Darryl Hall is right here and is going to hit this gap on the stunt. They're going to ask Jermaine Miles to come out and cover Archie Amerson because of that, and that is a mismatch. Danny McManus, the veteran, picks it up and just floats it over Jermaine Miles' head. Archie Amerson scores.
So now Jeff Garcia tries to respond. On first down, Kelvin Anderson had a big game last week against the Eskimos.
As in 5 or 6 yards.
They brought in 3 running backs to challenge him for this position, and the race was over as soon as last week's game began, according to Wally Buono. Anderson was solid.
And this is the Hamilton defense that he's going to run against. The newcomer up front is Jeff Cummins. He's going to be in a real matchup with Fred Childress on that Calgary offensive line, and that's the secondary, one of the best in the CFL.
The gain was 6, 2nd and 4. Garcia shotgun. Running well to his right, turns the corner, and he's dragged down. Joe Montfort caught up with him.
Well, this, John, is truly when you get a sense as whether or not Jeff Garcia's knee is back. He takes off running. Does he favor it? Does he not run as hard? Is he tentative? And I think from the preseason and what we saw on that run right there, Jeff Garcia's knee is just fine.
And he had the first down there with a 5-yard gain. The story on Garcia also was that he seemed faster when they timed him this year. Now, how do you get faster after a knee operation?
Well, you get faster through a lot of hard work, and Jeff Garcia worked really hard on the rehabilitation of that knee, and he came out strong in camp.
That was the first down for the Stampeders. From the 39, Garcia spots an opening, steps up, and fired short of his target.
Jeff Garcia.
He was looking for Willis Marshall, one of the newcomers, number 80, the only import rookie to make the Stampeder roster this year.
Yeah, and Willis Marshall, is going to play that fifth receiver spot. He'll play the wideout. He'll play in the slot back, different positions. He made the team, and this is a team that's tough to make as a rookie. He beat out Fred Bailey, who was a veteran on this team, and it's not easy to make Wally Buono's team. He likes to keep the veterans around.
Pretty solid in preseason, over 100 yards on 5 receptions, 133. Second down. Garcia has time, looking deep, and it's almost picked up.
Jeff Garcia looking for Vince Danielson down.
Danielson was the target.
Batted away by the Tiger Cats.
And Gerald Vaughn got in the way of the ball and almost had an interception.
Well, Jeff Garcia made the right read. He just didn't do it in time. He looks down the field. By the time he picks up Danielson running down the seam, it's too late. That ball takes a long time to get there, and Gerald Vaughn, who used to be a Calgary Stampeder a few years back from 93 to 95, has a perfect opportunity for the interception. Does everything right, Johnny. Goes up at the top of his jump. He just didn't catch the football.
Yeah, and the landing wasn't terrific either when he got down. Martino kicks it away for Calgary. Better one this time. Bobby Olive, another Ticat newcomer. Can't get away from the Stampeder coverage. The return is 6. The punt was 48. McManus gets the football back with a 7-0 lead. Ticats engineered a very impressive scoring drive covering 72 yards, and McManus mixed it up. 4 pass, 4 rush. Amerson hit the end zone from 3 yards out.
Well, this was the key play right there in the drive, and Williams is allowed to run the ball successfully in the first quarter because Amerson's been widened out as a receiver, and it was that kind of play that scored the touchdown right there. Archie Amerson over Jermaine Miles.
And the Tiger Cats have the ball back quickly beginning this time, just inside the 30. 8 first downs for the Tiger Cats already, 1 for the Stampeders. Those stats are correct. Ronald Williams trying to get outside and has maybe a yard. McClanahan celebrates. Pretty good play there. Wait till he takes his hat off. He's got nice hair this year.
I think for this game at least it's blonde, but we'll have to wait till he's on the sideline for that. But he certainly makes a great play here. He's moved inside to that middle linebacker position. Alondra Johnson has moved to the strong side linebacker. Anthony McClanahan has great range. He's an exciting player to watch, and he just made a nice play against Hamilton right there.
Ticats with a 7-0 lead. Looking at 2nd and 9. McManus has Williams over the middle, broke 1 tackle. He's out near midfield and dropped at the 55. Knox over to make the tackle. After a 25-yard gain, Ronald Williams is having a night.
Well, he certainly is. When you got a key on him as a running back, you see him to the left of your screen, he's just going to release, and Anthony McClanahan had to get a good jam on him or cover him, and he didn't do either. That left Ron Williams open behind the coverage. Alondra Johnson couldn't get there, and Williams picks up the big yardage.
1st and 10, right at midfield.
Williams set up the Tiger Cats' first touchdown. Hamilton first down at the 55. It's Ronald Williams again for about 4 more. Over the right side, behind Franco Rocca and Dave Hack.
John, I really like the game plan for the Hamilton Tiger Cats right now. They're showing multiple formations. They've got a young offensive line that haven't played together very often or at all yet this season. And yet they have a great game plan coming in. Ron Lancaster and Ron Lancaster Jr. put that thing together. And right now they have this Calgary defense on their heels.
Well, as you said earlier, the offensive line is barely met.
Yeah.
2nd and 6. McManus goes to the far side. He'll have another first down, courtesy of Andrew Grigg, who's off to a super start tonight.
And John, on that play, you know, we always talk about Darren Flutie and how great a receiver and pass catcher he is, but he makes a great block. You know, Darren Flutie will do anything it takes to win and to get first downs, whether it's not he's catching the football or he's helping out another receiver. But watch Darren Flutie come up and help Grigg on this play. He's going to come up. There's Darren Flutie right there, and he's going to make the key block that springs Grigg for a couple of yards on William Hampton.
Flutie's a great receiver. Don't discount his leadership abilities. This is Amerson taking a quick pass from McManus. He has about 3. Darrell Hall, number 4, over to make the stop. Yeah, that's the end of quarter 1. Entertaining for Ticat fans in particular. Hamilton has a 7-0 lead. Ron Lancaster may smile a little later.
You're watching CFL Live, and we're at the quarter. Here's your host, James Duffy.
All right, welcome back, folks. And Steeltown have to be smiling. The Tiger Cats, nobody knew what to expect from them this year. They haven't had a competitive team there in Hamilton for a while, but geez, Eric, that was an impressive quarter.
You're right, James. What an impressive quarter. Just a terrific performance. McManus and company, they're controlling tempo. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. You know, frankly, Calgary's very fortunate just to be down by 7 points.
You know what I like about it, James? I like the fact that their play calling right now is multiple, in that you're getting a lot of production on first down. First down's critical in the CFL because after first down, if you can position yourself second and short, which the Ticats did 4 or 5 times, that sustains the drive, keeps the ball away from Calgary. Ron Lancaster Jr. has done a great job of not putting himself in 3rd and long situations, which the inexperienced offensive line for Hamilton may make a mental error. This is simplistic football, but well-executed football.
Eric, Danny McManus, it's been a while since there's been a good quarterback in Hamilton. That was a good quarter from him as well.
Well, you know, there's been a lot of optimism about Darren and Danny Mack coming to Hamilton. And if they play the way they look right now, the fans are going to get their money's worth in Ivor Wynn this year.
All right, the Ticats leading 7-0 after 1 quarter of play. For second quarter action, let's send it back to John Wells and Glenn Suter at McMahon Stadium in Calgary.
Wally Buono is down by a touchdown to Ron Lancaster and the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the home opener at McMahon Stadium. Sherry Hargrave is on the sidelines, our new TSN reporter in Calgary. Let's bring her in now.
Thanks, John. With me right now is 7-year Stampeder veteran Bruce Covington. He missed all last season because of shoulder surgery, but he was back at training camp this year looking better than ever. Why are you standing here on the sidelines?
Well, unfortunately, the shoulder's acting up. I came in the best shape I did. Shoulder's just not going to allow me to play right now, and it might be time to look at hanging it up and calling it a day.
So the fans may not see the big tuna in a uniform again?
Well, if they buy a program, they might see me there. Well, we'll see. Right now, I'm just fortunate that I have something to fall back on, a mark personnel, and you know, if the shoulder lets me play, I'd love to play. These are the greatest fans in Canada, and if not, time to move on with life.
Well, good luck. Back to you, John.
And we'll wish the native of Morris, Manitoba, good luck. Whether or not he can come back seems a little doubtful right now. He missed all of 1997 season. Thought he was ready and couldn't quite turn the corner for 98. Ticats with a lead, looking at 2nd and 7 at the Calgary 35-yard line. McManus stands in confidently. Now has to escape and fires over the middle on target for another first down. Bobby Olive, number 88, makes the catch in his first year, has good speed and good hands, and now he's got to catch. The numbers from the opening quarter might be a little surprising if you're just tuning in. The Ticats with 147 net yards compared to 14 for the Stampeders.
Yeah, and I think what I like about it for the Hamilton Tiger Cats is the time of possession, number 1. They've kept the football throughout the whole first quarter, and they have nice balance. 98 yards passing, 49 yards rushing.
And the Ticats have another first down at the Stampeder 20. McManus near side this time. He has Gregg, and he's wrapped up by Hampton almost immediately. The gain is 4.
You know, that looks like a simple pass, catch, and tackle, but, you know, it is very difficult in all that open field for William Hampton to come up and make that tackle. He's got to decide whether or not to break on the football, and he can get his hand on the football, or just come up and make the safe tackle. There's a lot of space out there. William Hampton does a nice job.
Andrew Gregg is on his way to an outstanding evening with 4 catches, 46 yards thus far. Ticats looking at 2nd and 6 from the 16. McManus over the middle again. Catch is made. Flutie had it and dropped it. Not quite. I thought he had it long enough. He doesn't drop many like that. McManus heads to the sidelines, and the Ticat kicking unit comes in.
Well, in fairness to Flutie, he got hit in the back by Eddie Davis right as the ball arrived. It was good timing, and Flutie drops the ball.
The new Paul Osbaldiston down about 25 and eating celery sticks.
Well, you know, he didn't have a good year, plain and simple. Last season, 57.1%. Not a good year for Osbaldiston. He's lost about 25 pounds.
And he's on target there as Osbaldiston adds to the Hamilton Tiger Cat lead. A great beginning to the new season for the Tiger Cats, but there's a long way to go at McMahon in Calgary. Wally Buono looking at a 10-point deficit in the second quarter against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, winning as coach in Calgary Stampeder history. Might have a few more gray hairs before this one is over if the Ticats keep moving the ball as effectively as they have.
Well, I'm sure he told them to get Calvin Anderson involved. They got to run the ball better.
Just 11 yards rushing for the Stampeders in the opening quarter. They fake the run, and Alan Pitts has his first catch of the evening. And he's into the water bucket.
Well, this is the other element. This is the first time we've really talked about Alan Pitts, and I think the Calgary offense really has to settle down and get back to what they do well, which is run the ball on first down with Calvin Anderson or get it in the hands of Alan Pitts, the Calgary Stampeders' all-time leading receiver. Had a good year last year with 885 yards and, of course, didn't play the whole season.
Missed the first 7 games of 1997 with a hand injury suffered in the offseason. Has a first down for Calgary. Garcia has the offense moving now. Escapes the first wave and can't get away from the second. Montford is there. Joe Montford, number 53.
Finally taken down by number 53, Joe Montford.
This guy is big and speedy.
And he was the best defensive lineman Hamilton had in the preseason. Looks like he's poised for a good year, and he's going to keep the pressure on. Garcia wants to go deep to Travis Moore once he steps up, but Travis Moore broke off his pattern, so he had to hold the ball, and that's when Joe Mumford had a chance to get there.
Gonzalo Floyd, number 90, also made a good play on forcing Garcia into Montford's hands.
Back to the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd and 10 at the 45.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 Calgary, trailing by 10 at McMahon Stadium. Our season opener for 1998. For the Stampeders and the Tiger Cats. Garcia has a target, far side. It's Vince Danielson. Wrestled out of bounds with a little last-minute help by Eric Carter there. The gain is 8.
Well, it's tough to imagine how Vince Danielson can improve on last season. Almost 1,200 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns, his personal best year, and he caught the ball in that last play.
Flag is down. It really was a breakthrough year for Danielson in 1997.
No question about it, but the Hamilton defense on 2nd down.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary, 59. 3rd down.
That's Rocco Romano. Slightly uncharacteristic.
Well, he's the veteran up there, and Rocco Romano gets a little bit of a frustration penalty after the fact.
So Martino steps in. A couple of costly penalties against the Stampeders already in this one. Ticats on top, 10-0. A bit of a surprise thus far at McMahon in Calgary. Martino back near his 25. Another marker is down. Martino sails this one with a bit of a breeze behind him. Steinauer makes an over-the-shoulder catch and starts back. Nailed at the 19. The return is 8. A 60-yard punt. But there's an infraction to check out.
58 yards for Tony Martino. It's an 8-yard.
We'll have to take a look at what that penalty was.
Hamilton 34, penalties decline.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't have mattered because they were so far back, so they just keep the play.
Ticats will start deep in their own zone. They have a 10-0 lead. You're watching the CFL Live. Welcome back to McMahon in Calgary. Tomorrow we're off to British Columbia, the Eskimos and the BC Lions. Rod Smith and Leif Pedersen will be there for that. David Archer debuts as the Eskimo quarterback. He's likely sitting in his hotel room right now trying to remember all we taught him up here in the booth last year.
Well, John, he's probably watching the TV calling the game.
Pointing out a thing or two that we might have missed. McManus on first down, swings it out. So Williams one more time. He turns the corner. Nice play by Ronald Williams, who's been the offensive star for the Hamilton Tiger Cats thus far.
John, Ron Williams is so strong. He breaks out into the open here, and with his left arm, he holds off Alondra Johnson, one of the best tacklers in the game. Watch this. Takes the ball, puts it under his right arm. Now watch the left hand, the stiff arm right there. Just pushes Alondra Johnson right off him. That takes a lot of strength.
Second for Tiger Cats at their own 26.
Williams has run effectively and caught a couple of key passes. 6 yards the gain there. It is 2nd and 4 Hamilton. Williams straight ahead. Markers are down, and he appears to be short of the first down.
After a gain of a yard.
Anthony McClanahan, 41, celebrating.
Well, that was a pretty nice surge by that Calgary defensive line. Anthony McClanahan was in there. Jeff Traversy stood up his man. It looked like a pretty good surge.
Calgary number 3. First down.
So another costly penalty. Jack Kellogg nailed that time. He used to be Jackie last year, but apparently he likes to be called Jack.
Yeah, he says on his driver's license, every piece of ID he has is Jack. He tried to cash a check that said Jackie on it, didn't work. So he says we got to cut the Jackie stuff out.
So we'll call him Jack. 12 first downs for the Tiger Cats, including this one here. McManus, open target is Darren Flutie, far side. Make that 13 Tiger Cat first downs. 9:55 to go in the opening half at McMahon Stadium.
First down,
Flutie hooking up with his old pal McManus once more. They played together on 3 teams in the Canadian Football League, starting in BC, stopping off in Edmonton, and now,
well, look at
Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Look at the production from Darren Flutie, from his favorite quarterback, Danny McManus, and of course, 1994. That was the year that right here they advanced to the Grey Cup game. Danny McManus hitting Flutie in the end zone on the last play.
Ronald Williams again. Marker down. And the gain appears to be about 4 yards. We'll check out the infraction.
John, I don't know if it's just me, but the Hamilton Tiger Cats have an air of confidence about them in this game.
Face mask. Calgary 41. First down.
And the Stampeders are falling apart. Another critical penalty.
Well, Anthony McClanahan's going to get the foul, but, you know, I just can't get over how the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a team that struggled so much last year under the new leadership of Ron Lancaster, and then having Danny McManus in the huddle to lead that team. I mean, this team looks like a different squad. They have confidence. They have confidence in what they're doing. They have confidence in the game plan set up by Ron Lancaster and the rest of his coaching staff, and they look like a completely different team.
Too many penalties for the Stampeders, over 54 yards already, a couple of major fouls. McManus on first down. Look to Flutie. He was well covered by Greg Knox, who seems to be completely recovered from that Achilles injury he suffered last year.
The one question mark, John, for Wally Buono going in this year was whether or not Greg Knox at the safety position was going to recover from the Achilles injury that he suffered in week 4 last year. He apparently has. He's had a great preseason, and what a break on the football he had on that last play to Darren Flutie.
He looks very studious for a safety.
Well, you have to be studious because the safety is the guy who makes all the checks. He's the guy who tells everyone where to line up, and you really have to know what you're doing back there.
I've just never seen you in glasses. Took a little too long for McManus to get that play underway. 8:38 to go till halftime. It's the Tiger Cats on
violation.
Top.
Hamilton 14.
Well, Danny McManus was probably trying to figure out exactly who his offensive line. You were who again? And got caught there. A little late getting out of the huddle.
He really is unflappable, though. The expression very seldom changes on the face of Danny McManus, one of the all-time nice guys in Canadian football. It's now 2nd and 15 Ticats. Near midfield. McManus gets some heat here and couldn't find his target, whoever it might have been.
Well, John, I think Danny McManus wanted to find Ron Williams out of the backfield, but Williams got caught up in the mix. He got caught up in those offensive linemen trying to set up, and he never really got open. Looked like they were trying to set up the screen pass, and really when you have the screen pass, when you set up the screen pass, you only have one opportunity because
This is Ron Williams right here. Here's Danny McManus. Once Danny McManus starts in his deep drop, he's going to get a little deeper because it's screen. He's going to keep backing up, and you see he can never really get a clear look at Ron Williams. Now, had he got that ball to him, Williams would have had a little room to run, but he never got it to him.
Osbaldiston is in. Coleman is one of the deep backs for Calgary. Along with Gerald Vaughn. Pretty good punt by Ozzie. Coleman chases it inside the 10-yard line, away from the first wave and not the second wave of Ticat tacklers. The return is 4. The punt covered 46, and the Stampeders down 10-0 will start deep in their own zone.
Yeah, this is a point in the game where Jeff Garcia has to put a drive together, and he has to do it by not panicking. I mean, he's experienced quarterback enough to know that there's a lot of time left in this football game, but they really need to try and get some momentum back. And the Calgary Stampeders can do that if they go back to on first down, trying to pick up 4 and 5 with Calvin Anderson, and then on second down, using a little play action.
Terry Vaughn to the near side. Travis Moore flanks to the far side of the field on first down Calgary, just outside the 10-yard line. Garcia gives it to Calvin Anderson, and he hasn't been able to run very effectively so far tonight, but he's better than halfway to a first down there. Let's bring in Sherry Hargrave.
Well, guys, 2 series ago, Alondra Johnson was in. He had a little scare. He took a hit. The trainers took off his pads. They checked it out. He has a sprained shoulder, but they say he's okay, and he's back in the game. Back to you guys.
All right.
Probably one of those stingers. You get hit in the shoulder, and it feels like your left arm is just numb, or your arm is numb, and within about 2 or 3 plays, it comes back.
Gain was 6. This is 2nd and 4. Garcia shotgun. There's some heat. And Garcia heads to the sidelines, coming up maybe a step short of the first down. The spot will be very important to Calgary here.
Well, Garcia looked to his left that time. He had 3 receivers out to his left, and when he decided to scramble, he took off to his right. The problem with that is he only had 1 guy over there, and there was about 3 defenders, so he really had no one to throw to.
He did get enough for the first down as Garcia moves the sticks.
You see him, he's looking over to his left, but Joe Mumford flushes him back over to the right. Now he's over there, but he has no one to throw to. So he has to put it under his arm, try to pick it up on his own.
Mission accomplished. Stampeders get a first down with 7:04 to go till halftime. Ticats on top. 10-0 at McMahon Stadium. Stamps from the 23. Draw play. Calvin Anderson, he breaks one here. Big run for Calvin Anderson out near the 40-yard line. Finally stopped by Gerald Vaughn. A 15-yard pickup. Just what the Stampeders needed.
It's establishing a running game, John, and it's also a great example of what a great running back can do for you. Watch Calvin Anderson hit the hole. Initially, there's a little hole for him. He just needs a crease. Now, this is what you pay them for. Make the guy in the open field miss, and a great cut by Calvin Anderson on Rob Hitchcock in the open field to pick up about 5 more yards.
Stampeders on first down. Garcia on target to Danielson out near midfield.
This is the kind of drive that Jeff Garcia needs. He got the running game involved on first down with Calvin Anderson, pick up some yards. Now that keeps the defense back. They have to respect the run, and that'll open up the passing game in behind.
29 yards on 2 plays, 14 there. Garcia moves into the hurry-up offense here. Keep this drive going for Calgary. 5:50 till halftime. Garcia gets good protection, looks deep. Marshall, the newcomer, couldn't run underneath it. That's Willis Marshall. He's a big play receiver who made the team because of his special teams talents.
Yeah, and what Calgary liked about Willis Marshall was the fact that when he catches the ball, he gets good yak yards, we call them. Yards after the catch. And that's what they liked about him. He made some big plays in the preseason, and that's why he made the team. And I tell you what, he was about 3 yards or 3 or 4 steps away from making a huge one for Calgary on that last play.
Wally Buono says he's a guy that the opposition defenses really have to watch. Garcia on 2nd and 10, up again. Steinauer was covering, and Travis Moore was the target. Moore coming off his best year yet in 1997. Over 900 yards receiving. 12 catches for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns during the preseason for Travis Moore. So Martino is in again, but Garcia did move the Stampeders a little more effectively on that last sequence.
At least he reestablished some field position for the Calgary Stampeders.
3rd and 10, Stampeders.
And there's still lots of time left in the half for Calgary to get that ball back and get another drive together.
Martino inside his 40-yard line to kick to Bobby Olive or Orlando Steinauer. With the breeze, it's high and it's deep, right back to the 1-yard line. Steinauer has nowhere to go. He's wrapped up after about a 5-yard return. Leading the tacklers, Jackie Kellogg. Good punt by Martino.
56-yarder.
Danny McManus has his hands on the football one more time, but it's deep in Ticat territory, so Garcia's drive that didn't result in any points and a booming punt by Tony Martino has hemmed the Tiger Cats deep in their own zone. They'll begin just outside the 5-yard line at about the 7.
And of course, John, you can tell by the expression on his face that they're back there, right? like not.
What, me worry?
Look at the total yards right now. Hamilton, who'd have thunk it?
McManus wants to get a couple of first downs here. 1st and 10, Ticats beginning at the 7-yard line. It is Hamilton with a 10-0 lead. 4:52 to go till halftime. McManus looks to the far side behind his receiver. They say catch. Archie Amerson made the catch.
Oh, boy. Archie Amerson has so much versatility, and that's why they like him in Hamilton. That time, he lined up at the wide receiver position. Darryl Hall has been designed to match up with him. This is him right up here. That's Archie Amerson. He's lined up on Darryl Hall as a wide receiver and looks like a wide receiver, giving him a little swim move and then elevating to come down with that football right on the sidelines.
Coleman suggesting it was out of bounds, but it was clearly in, and another Ticat first down. McManus to Greg. And he fights very close to a first down.
This is the ability of Danny McManus, John, to read defenses. On the first play to Archie Amerson, he saw man and the matchup he wanted. Now on that play, he comes back and sees that Calgary's going to drop into a zone defense, and Danny McManus reads it. And when you see zone defense and everyone dropping off, you dump the ball underneath, and he's just going to do that. Drop it underneath there, takes a little hit for it, but hey, you'll take the hits if you can complete a pass as a quarterback.
Jermaine Miles didn't hurt him that time. Grigg comes up about a half a yard shy. This will be 2nd and very short to go for the Tiger Cats, trying to get across the 30-yard line. And the quarterback, McManus, moles his way through. Just followed Carl Coulter, the center. Lancaster has the lead. You'd never know it. His Ticats have played very effectively in the opening half.
Well, you know, no one coming into this game expected Hamilton to really compete. There's a lot of good players here in Hamilton, but they haven't played together, so people expected that it would take them some time to gel. No one thought that they'd come into Calgary, the team that's favored in the West, and have a 10-point lead at this point in the game.
Now, don't forget the Bombers had a 14-point lead at one point today and ended up losing to Montreal. Ronald Williams.
Sorry, John.
Sorry.
I was going to say there's a lot of football left, no question. And Steve Anderson reminded Hamilton of that on that play.
3-minute warning at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Here's the Ticats on top. You're with the CFL Live. Ticats are a happy group down there right now. They have a 10-0 lead. A long way to go in this football game. 50 rushing yards for the Tiger Cats. A lot of that came early from Ronald Williams. Kelvin Anderson came back to pick up some big yards in the 2nd quarter. Lancaster said he wanted to run the football, and he's done it quite well.
And they're controlling the football, more importantly. John Hamilton dominating Calgary in time of possession. He's now consulting with Pat Perlis, the offensive line coach. But Ron Lancaster knows one thing. He's been around long enough to know that there will be adjustments made on both sides for the second half, and he's got to make some adjustments if he wants to continue to have success. Wally Bono has to make some adjustments, no question, on the Calgary side of the football.
Yeah, there's way too much time on the clock when you're looking across the football field at Wally Bono. 2nd and 10, Tiger Cats at the 31. McManus shotgun. He's got a target. It's Andrew Grigg again. It'll be another Ticat first down as Grigg dodged one tackler and was forced out by Greg Knox.
Boy, I tell you what, right,
it was open.
Danny McManus did such a nice job of looking off the defensive back, William Hampton. Danny McManus looks to Archie Amerson. Archie Amerson to the left of your screen is going out in the flat. McManus gives a little shoulder and look off to him. William Hampton jumps up there, and that leaves Andrew Grigg wide open behind.
6 catches for 93 yards for Andrew Grigg. Talked about him earlier. It's his first year as a CFL starter. McManus confidently standing in. Look to Bobby Olive. There was tight coverage there. Marv Coleman was all over him.
Marvin Coleman, number 7.
Well, Marvin Coleman is a triple threat. Punt and kickoff returns, and he's not a bad defensive back. Couple of years back, 7 interceptions. Last year he only had 1, but he is one of the best cover men in the league. You're right up at the top of your screen and covering one of the toughest patterns to cover for a defensive back. It's called the dig or the in route. It's a tough one to cover. The receivers coming back to the quarterback, but Marvin Coleman does a nice job of beating the receiver to the football.
Yeah, superb coverage by Coleman. 2nd and 10. The Tiger Cats. McManus has Olive out in the flat. He lost the ball, and the Ticats come up with it. Mike Morreale ended up with a football. Hamilton will be short of the first down regardless.
Mike Morreale, number 18.
Well, back-to-back big plays by Marvin Coleman. Jack Kellogg helps out. He sees the screen comes up, hurdles the potential block there from Morreale, but Marvin Coleman slips around and finds a way to get out there and make a great open field tackle. And it looked like that was a deliberate pitch, John.
I thought maybe he threw it to him. Depending. Anyway, Morreale was quick to jump on the ball, so the Ticats maintained possession for a moment at least as Coleman drops back to his goal line for ball distance punt.
Yeah, Wally Buono says, hey, thanks for the 2 good defensive plays, and to reward you, go catch a punt.
There you go. 2:13 till halftime. Ozzie aiming it for the corner, and he gets it out a little early near the 10-yard line. So Garcia has a couple of minutes to get the Stampeders rolling and on the scoreboard here. Decent drive last time, but most of the time it's been 3 and out for the Calgary Stampeder offense.
Yeah, you look at that, 4-play drives. The last drive, the 6-play drive, they got a little bit of running game going in that one. That helped that drive. You know Jeff Garcia is going to go back into that hurry-up offense. It's something that they practice all the time. They like to use it whether or not it's at the end of the half or during the middle of the game. They like to do it to keep the defense off balance, but not typical numbers for Jeff Garcia at this point.
He's hitting on 50% of his passes, but not enough yards, not enough completions. Thus far, only 4. And the Stamps begin in their own territory deeply once more, just outside the 10-yard line. Near side, intended for Danielson. Tight coverage, Gerald Vaughn.
Well, Garcia will talk to Vince Danielson on that last play, because when you're struggling offensively, you need your guys to step up and make big plays. Danielson really had both hands on that football and generally will come up with that kind of catch. It was a pretty nice throw by Garcia to feather it in there, but when you're struggling offensively, you need someone to come up big and make some big catches for you to get that momentum back, and they just can't find it in Calgary right now.
Stampeders very impressive in preseason games with 2 straight wins over BC and Edmonton. So far, the offense has been a little sluggish at McMahon here tonight. A little heat on Garcia. Fires back across the middle. Has his target is Willis Marshall. Out of Youngstown State, member of the NCAA 2 champions down there, and has a 12-yard gain there.
You know, this hurry-up offense does 2 things. One, it gives you some pace, some flow to the game. The other thing is, you know that the Hamilton defense has to play more of a vanilla type of coverage, and they usually are yelling it out at the top of their lungs. That may give Jeff Garcia a pre-snap read.
On first down, Garcia has Travis Moore. And Moore has a first down. It was Eric Carter making the tackle. And Garcia celebrating a little bit. He's got 1:35 to get to the Ticat end zone.
Well, he's trying to rally the troops and keep in this hurry-up offense. That time it was his typical example. Hamilton dropped off, played a pretty basic defense. Garcia reads it, and he keeps things going in this drive.
Moore picks up 12. Stampeders now at their own 37. First down. Garcia has time. Now it evaporates. Anderson was the target, number 32, far side. And Justin Ring, out of Simon Fraser, number 36, was covering. Ring has superb speed. He's really playing well for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And he did so last year, too.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a special teams specialist, I guess you could say. He does a good job covering kicks. And Simon Fraser.
Yeah, it could be a Larry Ruck type linebacker, according to Ron Lancaster, who had some great seasons in the Canadian Football League out of Saskatoon. Just getting better by the game. 2nd and 10, Garcia. And the Stampeders close to a first down. Alan Pitts made the catch and was forced back, so we'll see where they spot the ball, but it's not a first down officially for the Stampeders. Garcia says we need just 1 yard. Let's go.
You're going to see a good look here. You see Alan Pitts trying to avoid contact on Justin Ring and find that open area. That's what you do against the zone defense. The receiver has to look upfield, read the coverage like the quarterback is, and try and find the hole in the zone. Pitts is one of the best at it and found one there. Now, it's going to be decision time, I think, here for Wally Buono.
What are you going to do in a situation like this, partner? You've got a yard to go, 1:17 on the clock, no points on the scoreboard.
Well, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for us up here to decide, but I'm going for it. I got to get some momentum going. I think I'm going to go for it.
3rd and 1. Stampeders go gambling at their own 46-yard line. They're down 10-0, and there was some early movement there, but no flags.
Wow.
Did you see a little red sweater move across the line earlier?
This is going to be close. This is going to be close. A good surge. And, you know, the key on this play, it's a short yardage situation. Whichever line, offensive or defense, gets the lowest is usually the team that wins the battle. This is going to be close.
Critical gamble for the Stampeders. Does it pay off?
No.
Not this time. Really, nothing has gone right for the Stampeders in the opening half in their home ballpark.
Well, you got to fire off the ball and get. Look how low Joe Mumford gets. He gets underneath the pile. Then you get the help from the secondary and linebackers. See Frank West coming over the top, and the surge from that defensive line is the key to that stop.
Don't forget, folks,
so there was a smile from Lancaster after the defense comes up big.
Did he smile? I didn't see it.
It was a little grin.
Was it a grin?
It was a little grin. Defense has not been the Tiger Cats' problem in the last little while. It's playing superbly here tonight. But the offense has really been Hamilton's story. You can tell about right there when Amerson should have made that catch.
Well, you know, John, I still like the call, though, by Wally Buono to gamble on that play. I mean, I think you need to try and get some momentum back. The time's running down in the half. You know, I still like the call from the Calgary offense. Go for it, try and get that momentum and keep the ball, maybe come away from some points. Now he just has to try and prevent 3 before the end of the half.
58 seconds to go till halftime on the unofficial score clock at McMahon. 2nd and 10 facing the Tiger Cats.
Stampeder 47.
Greg and Bobby Oliver, the wide receivers. 3 backs in motion to the right. McManus almost had it picked off. In fact, it is. It tips right to Hampton. And the Calgary defense dodges a bullet for Wally Buono. 2nd interception by Hampton in the ballgame. Tipped right to him of another Stampeder player. So William Hampton has 2, and the Stampeders have a chance with 49 seconds on the board. We had a point or 2 here.
Well, Danny McManus was really trying to thread the needle on the play, and Eddie Davis does a nice job of coming back, getting underneath Andrew Grigg on the play and getting both hands on the football. It tips up. William Hampton says thank you very much. And now he has given Calgary a chance to get some points on the board before the half.
6 receiver set for the Stampeders. 4 to the wide side of the field on first down near the 50. Garcia stands up and almost has it picked off. Does Justin Ring have it? He might have grabbed it before it hit the ground. Justin Ring, number 36, gets it right back for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Now, what do they call it? I think they may have waved it off, John. It looked to me like he caught the ball as well. It was tipping around there. I think the newcomer in that lineup, Joe Higgins, gets his hand on it. It bounces around, but the official was right in the spot.
That was a close call.
Yeah, Ken Peacock was right in the spot, the umpire, and he calls it that it hit the ground, but Justin Ring had a chance.
Joe Higgins made the play. Justin Ring almost the interception. But it's right back to the Stampeders looking at 2nd and 10. 41 seconds till halftime. Garcia takes it in his own hands and has a Calgary first down. He's inside the 45. ring on the tackle for the Ticats.
Well, it's hard to tell whether or not that was a design play or whether or not Jeff Garcia just took off running, but I love the call. Garcia sees the opening, takes off, gets the first down on his own.
16 yards for Garcia. Stampeders have a chance to get on the scoreboard before the opening half concludes. 1st and 10 at the Ticat 45. Garcia on target again, short of the first. On makes the catch and picks up 8.
Hey, just call the timeout there, John, and he'll head to the sideline and talk it over with Wally Buono. Make sure that the next few plays will be called. What they'll try and do now is they'll go into this huddle. They have 26 seconds left. See George Cortez, the offensive coordinator, down there on the sideline as well. They'll go over about 3 plays here, and they'll go in the huddle. They'll call 2 or 3 in a row so that they can get the plays executed as quickly as possible.
Unofficially 26 seconds till halftime. It is the Ticats in the lead by 10. And the Stampeders looking for their first points of 1998 on home turf at McMahon. Happy Canada Day to you.
And it all starts with an interception from William Hampton. Gives Calgary another chance to get some points before the half and a little momentum.
2nd and 2. Stampeders. Garcia with time now. Gonzalo Floyd breaks free, and Garcia has his target. Aubrey Cummings, one of a couple of rookies in the Stampeder lineup. Out of Acadia, 4th round pick, 24th overall in '97.
Boy, they like Aubrey Cummings. He learns quickly. He's got great speed, can play both positions, wide receiver and slot back, and they love his toughness. He was hurt during the preseason, but continued to play.
He was ranked the #1 receiver in the CIU in 1997. First down, Stampeders. Garcia with time, looks near side, and has Vaughn away from one. Great move, and he's still going. What a great play by Terry Vaughn down to the 10-yard line. But it's the final play of the opening half, and the Stampeders come up a little bit empty. Vaughn almost found a way to the end zone.
Well, it took a little long, but it was sure exciting to watch. Great moves by Terry Vaughn. You know, I know the Calgary Stampeder bench were hoping he would get down a little early, maybe get the field goal team out there, but watch how exciting of a play this is. Some outstanding moves in the open field by Terry Vaughn.
A block away from getting to the end zone, but the Ticats have the lead. We're a little surprised. We'll check out what the panel has to say on CFL Live at the half, coming right up. Tiger Cats are being welcomed to McMahon with a 10-0 lead at halftime. Let's get set for the kickoff here. Osbaldiston has it teed up on the 35. You a little surprised with the events of the opening half?
Well, I'm not surprised that, you know, Danny McManus is having success. I mean, he is a veteran quarterback. I'm a little surprised at how well the offensive line for Hamilton has played, considering they haven't played together at all, and they're opening some big holes for that Hamilton running game.
Second half is underway at McMahon. Stampeders trying to regroup. It's Coleman on the return to the 30. 35, nice cut. He's up to the 45-yard line, so Garcia will have good field position to begin the second half, and the numbers from the opening half really favor the Hamilton Tiger Cats all the way down the board.
Well, there's a couple here of note. Right here, time of possession. That's a big one for Hamilton. Jeff Garcia can't get anything going if he's not on the field. The other one is right here. Look at that, 2 turnovers, or Hamilton may have a few more points on the board, and it may be more of a deficit for Calgary to come back from.
So it's up to Garcia now. And beginning at the 45, no excuses for field position here. 4 receivers to the far side. Good fake by Garcia. He looks to the near side, and he has Willis Marshall. Flags go down on the coverage by Derek Greer.
Well, Garcia's frustrated because Willis Marshall was wide open, and Garcia underthrew him, or that is a touchdown. Now it works out for the Calgary Stampeders.
Deliberate forward pass interference, Hamilton number 20, first down.
Derek Greer was beat on the play, turned around and tried to catch up, but it was too late. You're going to see the pass interference right at the end of the play. He doesn't look back. He puts his hands up in the face guard of Willis Marshall, and the ball hits Greer right in the middle of the back. A great call by the officials, but had Jeff Garcia put a little more air on that football, it was a touchdown, Calgary.
Going for 6. 42 yards the gain for Garcia on the penalty, and a great start for the Stampeders to begin the second half. Inside the 25, Calvin Anderson gets the call, and he's inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line.
Gets about 4 yards on the carry.
4 yards for Kelvin Anderson.
Well, you know, the Calgary Stampeders run so much shotgun to Jeff Garcia that really the only running play to Kelvin Anderson that they've been able to run is this sort of sprint draw. He's in the shotgun or he takes it from center. Either way, it's sort of a draw play where Kelvin Anderson is getting the ball deep in the backfield and getting a chance to find some holes from there.
Anderson is the first Calgary running back since James Sykes to record back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Stampeders looking at 2nd and 6 at the Hamilton 19. Garcia, nice fake. May take off himself. He'll have the first down. He may have the touchdown. No, he's inside the 5. And Garcia has run the ball effectively a couple of times tonight.
Well, he started too late in the second half, John. He had some success running a quarterback draw on a particular play, and then when he sees it, he has no one to throw to downfield. He takes off running, cuts back inside. He's a tough runner. He's got a linebacker's mentality, and he cuts inside and takes some pretty good hits as he hits the turf there. Picks up a huge first down for his team.
7 carries for Garcia, 47 yards, including 16 on that play. Stampeders first and goal at the Ticat 3. This place is alive now. Garcia with time. Couldn't hook up with Danielson.
Garcia wanted Alan Pitts, and Alan Pitts could not get off the line of scrimmage. He was being jammed at the line by Gerald Vaughn, and he could not get open. You look at him, he's talking to Jeff Garcia right now, and they're trying to figure out. He is a frustrated receiver right now. The Hamilton DBs are doing a nice job of shutting him down, and that play was designed to go to number 18, but he didn't get open.
2nd and goal to go. Stampeders are at the Ticat 3-yard line. Early motion, there's the flag. Garcia may have a free one here. He has the touchdown. Travis Moore. Six touchdowns in 97 for Moore. A great preseason and his first touchdown of 1998.
And we got a game. You know, there's a lot of football left to play, and that the Calgary Stampeders would make adjustments at halftime. They come out with a huge drive to start off, led by Jeff Garcia, who runs the ball a little bit, mixes it up nice. They get a little bit of help with the penalty, and they find themselves in the end zone.
So the first celebration at McMahon Stadium. Stampeders will try and make it a 3-point football game with McLaughlin's point after. No doubt about it. Hamilton's lead is cut to a field goal. Travis Moore celebrates his first touchdown of the year. Jeff Garcia made it all possible. Calgary's Travis Moore is off to a great start in 1998. 12 receptions for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns in the preseason. And a big Calgary touchdown on a superb catch here to get Calgary on the board for the first time.
And more importantly, probably for Stampeder fans, is to get some momentum back. Now they know they can score, they know they can move the football, and they have some confidence.
Not deep. And here's the return for the Tiger Cats. Joe Hagan's the newcomer, who's a starting linebacker and back there on kickoff returns. I find it a little strange, but they tell me this guy's a terrific athlete.
Well, it's a great scoring drive for Calgary, aided, of course, by that penalty, but that's what I call an earned penalty, because Willis Marshall on that play had got in behind the coverage, and that penalty was a well-deserved penalty.
That was a successful 7-11 scoring.
This is the touchdown play. Rob Hitchcock from the safety is going to try to time up a blitz and hit the what's called the A-gap between the center and the guard, but he mistimes it and then gets blocked by Fred Childress. That's why Jeff Garcia had a free one, but what a great catch by Travis Moore.
We'll see if Danny McManus and the Ticats can respond on first down. McManus looking deep. He's got Amerson. Amerson in a foot race to the end zone. No contest. No flags, and the Ticats come back quickly.
Wow!
Archie Amerson, a 74-yard touchdown reception.
How do you respond to a touchdown coming out of the half from the opposing team while you go and throw a long one yourself? What a great play, and Danny McManus got the matchup that he wanted in man-to-man. You know, when Wally Buono said he was going to be a little more aggressive, that means you play more man-to-man, and that was what McManus was looking for. Out to the outside, McManus knows he's got Archie Amerson one-on-one with Alondra Johnson.
No fair.
Well, Alondra Johnson is one heck of a running back, but Archie Amerson is like a receiver out there, and that's a tough matchup for Alondra Johnson.
Amerson was lined up at a wideout position. Technically, he's a running back, but they've used him in several situations here tonight. McManus gets one back in a hurry. Archie Amerson has the Ticats touchdown for a 17-7 lead. That's 2 for Amerson tonight, both on receptions from McManus, and the Ticats have restored a 10-point lead. Osbaldiston ready to kick it off, and right back to Jeff Garcia and the Stampeders. Terry Vaughn has difficulty handling it. Now he's underway.
Terry Vaughn
and stopped at about the 29-yard line. Leading the way, Tim Fleiser, who's on special teams, the #1 draft pick. Canadian Football League this year. Fleiser starting with the Ticats in his first game tonight. McManus has tossed a couple tonight.
And 11 on the return.
Well, Danny McManus, right, that's where he's spreading out the football. You see a lot of passes to the right side of the field, and a lot of them have been to Archie Amerson, who they line up at the wide receiver position out there. Now, you might be wondering, how does Calgary prevent that? Well, what they would have to do now is go to a nickel defensive back and put Aldi Henry in the game and match him up on Archie Amerson.
It's Garcia's turn on first down. And a flag comes down on tight coverage. Gerald Vaughn on Travis Moore.
Well, Gerald Vaughn's over there talking to the officials, saying there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on, and it's going both ways, so you can't really call that one, but
he did not win the argument.
And that's one you never will win.
39 Hamilton. First down.
You know, if players only argued when they actually didn't have a penalty, then it would be something, but they argue whether it's a penalty or not.
Well, you've got to try to get every advantage.
You try to argue, and you're also hoping that maybe you get the next call.
Sometimes that happens. Ticats with 4 penalties now for 64 yards. Stampeders with a first down. Kelvin Anderson with the ball and nowhere to go.
He's held to a yard or two. Jeff Cummins, number 99, with the hit.
That Ticat front four was played fairly effectively tonight. Philbrick and Cummins in the middle. Joe Monford and Gonzalo Floyd are at the ends.
Yeah, I would say they've had a really consistent game to this point. I mean, they haven't really broken through and had a lot of pressure on Garcia, but they've been consistent. They're holding that running game down. They're keeping him in the pocket. And when they do flush him, he's really on the run.
Gain is 2. This will be 2nd and 8. Garcia moves to the shotgun with 4 receivers to the near side, and that's where he's looking. Almost a spectacular catch by Terry Vaughn, who went up and couldn't come down with it. Derek Greer on the coverage, number 20.
Well, I tell you what, the Calgary Stampeders receivers are having to work for everything they get. I mean, every time they run a pattern in this game, there is a Hamilton Ticat defender. In this case, it was Derek Greer all over him. I mean, look at that tight coverage. Vaughn would have to come up with a spectacular catch there, and that's been the story all night long.
Lancaster was talking about a good defense that he has in Hamilton and a great secondary.
Well, yeah, he said that was the first thing he noticed at day one at training camp. He comes out, he sees that defense, he says, this is going to be the strength of our team, I can tell right now.
Don Southern is in charge of defensive proceedings for the Tiger Cats. Martino has kicked well tonight, a 60-yarder, a 57-yarder, and this one is deep too. Olive with a nice return. He's out across the 40 to the 42, and superb field position for the Tiger Cats.
88 on the punt return.
Before football tomorrow night on the Sports Network, We'll check in with the Blue Jays and the New York Mets. That's 7 o'clock Eastern time start. And follow that up with football as the Eskimos and the BC Lions debut for 1998 on the West Coast at the stadium at BC Place. Nice night, Danny Mac.
Yeah, well, he came out and responded. You saw the momentum had switched to the Calgary Stampeders side when Garcia engineered that drive to begin the second half, but McManus responds with that huge strike to Archie Amerson. And, you know, a lot of times for a quarterback, when he sees the matchup he wants with Amerson on Alondra Johnson, then it becomes tough to get the ball there because you see your guy so wide open. Danny McManus is a pro and can handle it.
He spotted Amerson and fired it for a 74-yard touchdown. Ticats have restored their 10-point lead. You're watching CFL Live on TSN.
Play Safeway's $1 million touchdown to win. If your name appears, you won a fabulous trip for two to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. You'll stay at the Villas Vallarta Hotel and fly Air Transat, all courtesy of World of Vacations, Canada's #1 tour operator to the sun. $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway Food and Drug.
We're having a ball at McMahon Stadium in Calgary tonight. The weather in the Stampede City is always a little unpredictable. Some clouds on the horizon over there, but no rain here. Here's how the quarterbacks stack up thus far.
Yeah, not a great night by Jeff Garcia, but he has started to get a little momentum in this second half and late in that first half, so there's a lot of football left for him to play. And Danny McManus, of course, having a typical Danny McManus night. A couple interceptions, a couple touchdowns, just keeps moving the football team and putting points on the board.
Both TD tosses to Archie Amerson. One, a very spectacular 74 yards. And the other ended a long drive for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who have the football back once again with Amerson split to the near side. 1st and 10. Ticats right on the 40-yard stride. Ronald Williams ran very effectively in the first half. They haven't gone to him too much in the second half, and that time he ran into Anthony McClanahan.
John, Anthony McClanahan and that defensive front for the Calgary Stampeders may have got a pre-snap read on that play. And what I mean by that is they may have known what the play was going to be before the snap of the ball, because Ronald Williams had lined up about 2 yards deeper than he normally does. That's to get a little more time to see where the hole may open up. Well, the defense saw it and stuffed the hole.
McClanahan has moved to middle linebacker this season, and Alondra Johnson has moved outside. They feel both players are more effective in those new spots. 2nd and 9. It's Amerson again, but the flag is down. Alondra Johnson had him wrapped up in a hurry, short of the first down. We'll check out the infraction. Danny seems reasonably pleased with what's going on down there.
There's been a couple of penalties against Calgary that have cost them early in this game, whereas Hamilton has been pretty good on the penalty side.
Offside, Hamilton 18, decline, 3rd down.
Mike Morreale got an early start, so McManus wasn't smiling after all. Morreale stays out there on special teams.
Well, I'm going to guess. Do you see that signal Wally Bono was the hand right down the chest? I'm going to guess that may be a middle return on this punt return.
You think so?
Yeah.
Either that or heartburn from being down 10 points.
It could very well be heartburn.
A little indigestion, perhaps. Get out the Maalox.
They're not going to get it sometimes, man.
Osbaldiston at his 35. Coming off a tough year in 1997. He's performed well tonight. Decent kick and no chance for a return for Marvin Coleman. There are markers down. A 41-yard punt for Ozzie.
It out at the Calgary 20, so no chance for a return for Marvin Coleman.
Well, Paul Osbaldiston, we talked about earlier.
And there is a flag down.
Paul Osbaldiston had a bad year last year, but he decided about 2 weeks before the season that the game, he still loved the game, wanted to play again. He lost about 25 pounds in the offseason, worked out hard, got himself in shape, and he has got a different attitude and looking forward to having a lot better year this year.
So far, so good. He's perfect in field goals and has punted well tonight. Jeff Garcia not as happy with the proceedings at McMahon Stadium tonight. He did engineer a touchdown drive to start the second half. Ticats responded quickly, so he's no further ahead than when he began the third quarter, still down by 10 points. And the Ticats will begin this drive from the 10-yard line. Or I should say the Stampeders. Garcia, shotgun, time to throw, man open, it's Pitts, and it's on target. What a great play. Nice catch by Pitts in front of Gerald Vaughn, and we get a close-up look at this one.
Man, this has been a battle all game. Alan Pitts against Gerald Vaughn. Vaughn did a great job down on the goal line, jamming him. You see Pitts at the top of the screen. He runs a little bit of what's called a wheel to the outside and then up the field, and Gerald Vaughn is in a chase position. And I can tell you from experience, you don't want to be in a chase position with Alan Pitts.
No, because it's the last number you see, too, on the replay, is it not?
I've seen that name tag way too many times running away.
48 yards the gain for the Stampeders. They're out across midfield. At the 52 with a first down, Garcia releases quickly this time as Anderson swinging out of the backfield. He was slowed and grabbed a couple of more yards before being forced off stride and out of bounds. Garcia's on a roll, 17 yards to Kelvin Anderson there.
And good speed by Anderson to get to the outside. He had Justin Ring trying to catch him away from the middle of the field.
17-yard gain for Anderson.
Kelvin Anderson used his speed there.
At the Hamilton 35.
Couple of big plays for the Stampeders. At the 35, it's Anderson on first down. More than halfway to another one.
The football for about 7.
Garcia is mixing it up well right now.
He is, and that running play, I'll tell you what it does for you. You give it to Kelvin Anderson up the middle. He picks about 6 or 7 yards on the play. Now you get into a shorter yardage, 2nd down and 3, 2nd down and 4. Now your playbook completely opens up offensively. Jeff Garcia has a lot of things he can do, and the defense has to respect them all. He can run the ball for a first down, run a little play action, and throw it over top. It opens up the playbook.
Stampeders from the Ticats. 28, 2nd and 3, play action. Works well. On target. It'll be a first down. No, he stepped out of bounds. Pitts made the catch and couldn't come down in bounds. So Garcia just missed on 2nd and 3.
Well,
How close was it?
Yeah, well, the ball was thrown to the outside a little bit too far. You need to get 1 foot in bounds. That back foot was up off the ground when Alan Pitts caught it.
Great call.
Great call right on the sideline.
So the Stampeders looking at 3rd and 3.
Number 13, Mark McLaughlin.
Send McLaughlin in. 35-yard field goal try. McLaughlin hit on 79% in 1997. Not off to a good start as he shanked this one left.
Well, Dave Dickinson is the holder. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell from here what the hold looked like. But that ball was either just really poorly hit by McLaughlin or it was a bad hold, because that didn't have a chance.
Not like you to blame the holder.
It's never the holder's fault. That's the backup quarterback, Dave Dickinson. He was out there holding on the play, and he'll talk it over and ask if he got the laces. Sometimes when the kicker hits the laces, that ball will spin off to the side, and they're going to talk it over.
It could be an important point as this evening progresses. Now 17-8, Ticats on top of the Stampeders. Fives are on the score clock here at McMahon. 5:55 to go. 3rd quarter. Ticats have it right back, beginning at the 35. Over the middle, Morreale. The target, not much of a gain. Darryl Hall was covering.
Number 4 ran him over. It's a gain of 4.
Okay. Well, Danny McManus has done what everyone expected him to do. Come out here and put some points on the board. What I'm surprised about, though, is the play of that offensive line in Hamilton. Danny McManus is mixing it up enough to keep the pressure off him.
Gain is 4. This is 2nd and 6 Ticats. McManus moves to the shotgun. They release in a hurry. No catch. Morielli had an opportunity. Likely should have made the catch, and the quarterback doesn't even look angry.
Well, you can't really get mad, but Morielli I don't think would have had the first down anyway. He was standing on the play right beside Steve Anderson, I believe it was, and he only had about 4 yards. So had he caught that one, I think Anderson would have ate him for dinner.
You're right there. Morielli getting a chance to start from the beginning of the season for the first time in his CFL career as Coleman drops back, standing near his 22-yard line for Ross Baldiston's punt. Not deep. Takes a big bounce to Coleman. He's hemmed in, and the return is maybe 3 yards. Well, maybe a little more, but not much. Cooper Harris is a leader for the Tiger Cats on special teams. His father, Wayne Harris, a CFL Hall of Famer, played so many great seasons with the Calgary Stampeders, and his name is up on the wall of fame here. He's also among the top 10 players of all time, as selected by a poll in the Regina Leader Post. Jackie Parker, number 1. Doug Flutie, number 2. Saskatchewan Rough Rider George Reed is 3. Patterson through Lancaster. Etcheverry, Lewis, Barrow, Harris at number 9, and Johnny Bright.
Now, you were also voting on that.
I voted on that, and I tried to get you in, but you couldn't make the top 10.
Well,
Garcia is picked off. Frank West has the interception.
Frank West with the interception.
Well, we talked about it earlier, John. I mean, this has been the story for this Calgary Stampeder offense. Every time those receivers go downfield, there is a Hamilton defender all over them. Frank West is the nickel back or the extra defensive back in the play. He's in charge of the coverage on this play right here. He's going to cross underneath, and he cuts underneath the hip of Vince Danielson and beats him to the football. Picture-perfect coverage. You jam on the line of scrimmage, you fall underneath, and come up with the football.
Real aggressive defense there by West.
It really is, and he knew right away that Frank West had made the play on the football and was going over there to get ready to make the tackle.
So McManus has his hands on the football one more time. First down near the 40. Almost picked off, and a chance for the Ticats to come up with the ball. But a Hollow couldn't come underneath it.
It falls incomplete.
Bobby Olive had an opportunity when the ball was knocked into the air.
John, Marvin Coleman had the opportunity.
Well, the first one, yeah.
He certainly had the first one, and he is kicking himself. The defensive backs aren't known for their great hands, but that was one that Marvin Coleman will tell you that he should have had. It was right in his chest, and I think what happened, he started to look downfield as to where he was going to run before he had secured the football, and it bounced right off that 1 and that 7.
So that's why you played safety, right?
Hey, knockdown's as good as a catch, I heard.
Second down, slight delay. And Ronald Williams,
number 24.
about 5 yards with a penalty marker down on the near side.
And there is.
Williams ran very effectively in the opening half. Now he appears to be shaken up on that 5-yard run there.
When he hit the hole, he grabbed his left leg.
Offside. Hamilton 89. That penalty's declined. Third down.
That was Andrew Grigg.
Where he's grabbing his legs on that left thigh. Could be a Charlie horse or something. What you don't want is that he grabs the back of the leg, because then it becomes hamstring.
Anyway you look at it, he's slow getting to the sidelines. 3:25 to go. Third quarter at McMahon. Here with the CFL Live on TSN, second half of our doubleheader. One more game tomorrow, Edmonton at BC. Join us for that. Rod Smith and Leif Pedersen will be at the stadium at BC Place. Paul Baldiston, 1 for 1 thus far tonight. First attempt slightly shorter than this one.
Well, he was 3 for 3 in the preseason. He's 1 for 1 tonight. I think he's off to a good start.
He'll feel pretty good if he nails this one. McLaughlin just missed his field goal try.
45 yards.
Darren Flutie will spot it at the 45 for Paul Osbaldiston. He's got the distance, and he's on the mark. Osbaldiston
45 yards.
adds to the Tiger Cat lead. It's now 20-8. Hamilton leading Calgary. I would think this outing by the Tiger Cats might revive a little interest in Steeltown. So if you want to catch the Bombers game, next week.
John, I talked to Ron Lancaster about the ticket sales. He said they're about 1,000 over season tickets where they were last year, a little short of their goal for this season. But he said, I think the fans in Hamilton are really in a wait-and-see mode. They want to see what kind of football team they're going to have. Well, if they're watching this one, they can tell they got a pretty good one.
Hope to see you there at Iberwin Stadium. We'll be there for the Ticats and the Bombers next week. Here's Garcia looking deep. Pitts is the target. Coverage was too tight.
Well, here's something you don't see very often. Justin Ring from the linebacker position all the way back there trying to help out on the coverage on Alan Pitts. It's basically a vice. You can see him right in the middle of your screen there. Justin Ring is going to play on the outside shoulder. He knows he has safety help from Rob Hitchcock. You don't want to leave your linebacker one-on-one on Alan Pitts, but if you know you can double him up with Hitchcock, you got a chance.
Hitchcock played that well, too.
He's right where he was supposed to be.
2nd and 10, Stamps at the 35 after the Ticat field goal. Garcia short of the first down on the connection with Vince Danielson.
It's a gain of about 6 yards.
The gain is 6, and the Stampeders will kick again.
Yeah, and the Hamilton defense will give them that. I mean, that's what you want to do. Get the offense in a 2nd and long situation. Jeff Garcia knows he's got to make 11 yards for the first down. So all Hamilton has to do is drop off in that zone, make Jeff Garcia throw it underneath, and come up and make the tackle. Executed perfectly by Ron Lancaster's defense.
Ticats have the lead by 12 points. With 2:11 to go, third quarter. Garcia has to get the Stampeders rolling, but McManus gets his hands on the football now. Martino across the 30 to get this one away. He's nailed a couple of buttes. This is Bobby Olive retreating a bit. Fooled a couple of defenders and turned it into about a 4-yard return. Dave Van Bellingham led the Stampeder tacklers. It has been a story of Hamilton's success thus far. Long way to go yet, but McManus has been hot. Williams has played well with 60 yards rushing. Amerson has been outstanding with a couple of touchdowns and 100 yards total.
Yeah, when you look at receiving totals and you're thinking of the guy that McManus would probably be looking for, and we talked about it before the game, it would be Darren Flutie. But this is what the Calgary defense has given the Hamilton offense, so McManus will take it. He's seen the matchups he wants. It's Amerson against the linebackers, and they've been successful with it all game.
And Flutie has not been a major factor thus far, but there's a long way to go. Mike Morreale, another Ticat first down.
Finds number 18, Mike Morreale.
He dropped one a couple of plays earlier. And there's a marker down after the catch was made.
There is a flag.
So McManus comes right back to him after he dropped that short one.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 41, Calgary. First down, Hamilton.
Third major foul of the football game for the Stampeders. This one to Anthony McClanahan.
He's right. He's on the left-hand side of the. You're going to see. Look at the late hit. And that's frustration. Anthony McClanahan coming over. Nope, not part of the play, and hit Amerson right in the back. And the bad thing about a play like that is you can seriously injure a guy. You do things like that.
Ticats ball from the Stampeder 51. And nowhere to run for Ronald Williams.
92, Steve Anderson.
He ran into Steve Anderson, number 92.
No gain.
Anderson started in the CFL in Las Vegas, moved to Birmingham, played 10 games in 97 for the Stampeders because of injuries. And he limited that to no gain.
Well, it's the front four that really haven't got a lot of pressure on Danny McManus throughout the game, and we've mentioned it a couple of times already, but they're playing against an offensive line that haven't been together, not even in training camp. So Wally will definitely be talking to that defensive line. They need more pressure.
2nd and 10. McManus is nowhere to go, and he's down for the first time.
And there it is. Little more pressure. It's amazing what some pressure up front can do for you. And that time it was Jermaine Miles, but Steve Anderson got a good rush from the outside, forced McManus to step up. And Jermaine Miles comes up with the sack. He's right in here. Jermaine Miles is going to take off on the inside. Good push up the middle. You see the outside from Steve Anderson, and Miles comes up with the sack.
Jermaine Miles played 7 games in '97 and registered 3 sacks. He has 1 here tonight. He gets the football right back to the Calgary Stampeders. Osbaldiston from his 40. Should be the last play of quarter 3. Better kick this time, chasing Vaughn back to about the 3. And he's out across the 20 to the 22. 18 yards on the return. And another marker down on what would have been the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Illegal block, Calgary 62.
That's the newcomer to the Stampeders offensive line. A backup most of the time and on special teams, young Cole Kim. He said, I didn't do it.
Hey, well, I'll tell you one thing. The film won't lie. And when Wally Buono takes a look at the film tomorrow, he'll know if Jung Yul Kim committed that foul or not. Because the big eye in the sky never lies. No matter how much you plead your case on the sideline in the game.
So one more play before the quarter is over because of the infraction. Stamps have not had great field position so far tonight. They do get a catch from Travis Moore. And that'll be the final play of quarter 3 with the Ticats hanging on to a 12-point lead. It's 20-8 at McMahon.
You're watching CFL Live, and we're at the quarter. Here's your host, James Duffy.
All right, welcome back to TSN Control. And you know what? For the first time, perhaps, since Matt Dunnigan, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have a solid starting quarterback. Danny McManus has made an immediate impact on this club, and we have the numbers to prove it. 20 of 30 for 297 yards. We still got a quarter to go, and 2 touchdowns, both to Archie Amerson. I guess the only negative is those 2 interceptions. We talked about the Ticats executing a very good game plan. Danny McManus has executed it perfectly, Chris.
Well, you look at Danny McManus, and there's 3 things that impress me. 1, he has great pre-snap reads. Number 2, he takes risks with the football. He has courage in the sense that he will throw the football into very, very tight coverage. And really, number 3 is he's calm, cool, and collected. He may be tense on the inside, but he never displays it on the outside. And you look at the big play here, James, where he had Archie Amerson for the touchdown. It was a great situation because what he did and what he did effectively is put Amerson over the wide receiver position. Johnson had to sprint to get him. He read that before the snap of the ball. Perfect one-on-one situation. Excellent opportunity for a touchdown. A more inexperienced quarterback would not have seen that opportunity as quickly, James.
Okay, and Eric, the defensive side of the ball, Ticats doing a good job as well there.
Well, yes, you know, last year, Chris, the Hamilton defense was generally exhausted by the time the 4th quarter rolled around. Why? The offense was 2 and out, 2 and out, 2 and out. Just too much pressure on the Hamilton defense. This year with McManus and company, a rested defense, a good defense becomes even better, and that can be critical in the 4th quarter. Hamilton's defense now can win a game in the 4th quarter.
All right, they tried to cover Archie Amerson with a lineman in the first half. That didn't work. They put a linebacker on him in the second half. That didn't work either, and that's why the Hamilton Tiger Cats have the lead, 20-8 after 3 quarters of play.
Tiger Cats, though, are not home and cooled out. There's one more to go. 15 minutes of football.
Well, the secondary for Hamilton, led by Orlando Steinauer and Derek Greer and Eric Carter out there, have been doing a great job of shutting down these Calgary receivers. Steinauer last year played the corner for Hamilton, and he was asked this year by the coaching staff to move to the inside halfback position. He said, I'd rather play corner, but hey, if it helps the team win, I'll move in there. That's a guy that had 7 interceptions and led the league last year.
Well, Derek Greer and Eric Carter proved 2 pretty valuable corners for the Tiger Cats, and there's early movement on second down Calgary.
You know, Mike Philbrick on that play, he just came out of retirement. You know he's got to be tired. You know at this point in the game, he wasn't in training camp.
Offside, Hamilton 77, first down Calgary.
He's got to be getting tired. He got his momentum going forward and just couldn't stop it.
That will result in a Stampeder first down. Now out at the 21-yard line.
First and 10 now. Stamps on at their 21.
Philbrick actually arrived on Saturday at Ticat headquarters. Calvin Anderson on first down.
Direct snap to Calvin Anderson under 32.
And he ran right into Mike Philbrick there. Numbers through 3. 296 passing for the Tiger Cats. 2 turnovers each. Time of possession still favors Hamilton, and really that's a big reason that they're holding on to this 12-point lead.
Yeah, and when I look at those numbers, you know, you look at the 181 yards passing for Calgary and only the 72 yards rushing. Not a great offensive day, but you know why? Hamilton is playing great defense. That's why.
Garcia on 2nd and 9 has Anderson sliding out of the backfield, and he should have the first down. Wrapped up by Calvin Tiggle. But it looks like it's enough.
28, but it's first down yardage, a gain of 12.
Well, he took a pounding there from Tiggle, who's one of the best run stoppers in the game. From tackle to tackle, there's none better than Calvin Tiggle.
Garcia with time on first down. Vince Danielson, great catch.
Well, it's a great catch, John, because like every play in this game, he had coverage on him. Frank West was coming across, was draped all over him, but Vince Danielson somehow comes up with a big one. We talked about when offenses struggle, you need big catches. Well, Vince Danielson just made one.
He was the Stampeders' #1 receiver in 1997 with Alan Pitts arriving late for the season. 14 yards gain, and the Stampeders out near midfield. Garcia, time again. Vaughn looked the wrong way. A little mix-up in communication.
Well, I think Vaughn, he felt the coverage to his outside, and he wanted to go back into the middle. Garcia thought he's right up here. You see, he feels coverage to the outside, so he's going to try and break it into the middle. The coverage provided by Derek Greer. Garcia's thinking he should stay straight down the sideline and throws it out to where he's expecting Vaughn to end up. Vaughn had broke it off.
We're into the 4th quarter at McMahon Stadium in Calgary with the Ticats on top, 20-8 on the Stampeders. We're surprised, and so are a lot of other CFL fans looking in tonight, I'm sure. Stampeder fans might be a little shocked. Garcia on 2nd and 10 to Vaughn, and that'll be enough for the first down. Covered by the other #2, Eric Carter, who made the tackle.
Well, what a strike by Jeff Garcia. He's trying to find a hole, but he can't see really past the lineman. He has to throw it up over some pressure in his face, and what a great strike by the quarterback. He throws off his back foot, falling to the left, and finds Terry Vaughn coming across the middle with coverage all over him. So a great pass by Jeff Garcia.
Close enough to measure. Vaughn lost a little yardage when he was hit by Eric Carter. So Garcia, well, maybe looking at 3rd down here.
Well, Wally Buono gambled early in the game and didn't come up with a first down, but you know he's got to try and do it again. Try and get back in this football game. I don't think he really has a choice.
Don Southern in charge of all things defensive in this Tiger Cat organization. And the Stampeders have to gamble here. 3rd down and inches. They missed the opportunity, as Glenn said. Garcia, no mistake, as he takes it to the outside this time. And there's a marker down.
There's a penalty marker down.
Well, Garcia did the right thing to get to the outside. Unfortunately, when you do that, you know you're going to take a hit.
Offside, Hamilton 77 and 99. Penalties accepted.
We just caught 2 of them.
Well, Jeff Cummins and Mike Philbrick on the inside trying to time up the snap count and get in there early, but didn't do it. Jeff Garcia took a big hit on that play from Calvin Tiggle. He paid for the first down, but he'll take it.
Good drive for the Calgary Stampeders. Beginning back at the 9-yard line.
Stampeders in the 48.
And up to the Ticat 48 with a first down here. Nice play action fake. Willis Marshall made the catch. There was no yardage there.
This is a swarming Hamilton defense. I mean, Garcia on a quick hitch pass should never have pressure in his face, and he did. Automatically on the snap of the ball, he had to try and get rid of that one because he had pressure, and then when he did get it out there, Gerald Vaughn was almost there before the ball got to the receiver.
Loss of 3. Vaughn has played well.
A loss of 3 on first down, 2nd and 13.
So have a lot of Tiger Cat defenders. 2nd and 13. Garcia has his man out near the 40-yard line. Wrapped up by Carter.
Willis Marshall, number 80.
Marshall made the catch, gets 11 yards, but he'll still be a little shy.
Well, and this is a few more inches than the last gamble. In fact, this could be a yard or 2.
I think it's at least 2. Marshall is the only new import signed by the Calgary Stampeders to the regular season roster.
Well, that's a little too long for Wally Buono to gamble on this one. Fans here at McMahon would rather see him go for it, but
there's lots of time left for Wally. 11:13 to go.
There's plenty of time, and this is the right decision. Especially the way this Hamilton defense has been playing. 2 yards looks like 2 miles to this Calgary defense tonight.
Mark McLaughlin missed his first attempt. This one is from 47 yards out. Dickinson gets it down. McLaughlin gets it through. Stampeders narrow the gap to 9 on Mark McLaughlin's 47-yard field goal. This is CFL Live on TSN. Wally Buono is not having any fun with the music in the background, even though it is the Village People in YMCA here tonight. He's had a great record in July, unless you look back to last year, but since 1990, 23 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie. Stampeders started poorly last year, losing their first 3 games. Pitts was out of the lineup, and things weren't going very well. But they responded and came back for a 10-8 season. July has always been great for Wally Buono.
Yeah, see that record in home opener, 7-1. That one loss last year when Ron Lancaster brought the Edmonton Eskimos in here. Beat them in the home opener last season.
Yeah, that was McManus with 3 touchdowns late to put the Eskimos on top. Now they're facing McManus again in different stripes. This is Darren Flutie, may throw. And put it right to the Ticat bench.
Sean, Darren Flutie made that up. He got out there and didn't have anywhere to run and was facing a loss of about 6 or 7 yards and decided to throw it away. Now, there's a new rule in the CFL this year on grounding, intentionally grounding, whether it be the quarterback or someone else throwing the football. You see Darren Flutie, he sees he's not going to make any yardage and just throws it clear out of bounds. Now, the new rule in the CFL this year, as long as that ball crosses the line of scrimmage, doesn't have to be a receiver in the area. It's not intentional grounding. Darren Flutie knew the rule and saved his team a big loss.
Basically to protect quarterbacks. Here's McManus on 2nd and 10, a bullet. And Flutie couldn't make the catch. He really rifled that one.
Well, it just got away with him, away from him. Flutie had the seam in the zone defense, but that's one that Danny McManus just let get away and didn't hit the target.
Ticats on top, 20-11. Big surprise thus far at McMahon Stadium in the home opener for both teams. Vaughn and Coleman deep. Osbaldiston back near his 20. deep. It's low. Taken by Vaughn near the 35. Away from a couple. Good return for Terry Vaughn. Is that a face mask in there? Might have been.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can tell when the head is jerked like that.
Yeah, no question, a huge face mask call there. I believe it was Jeff Cummins that came over top. He was trying to chase on the play. It was either Jeff Cummins or Morreale who came across and got that face mask, but that was definitely across the head. Pulled Terry Vaughn's head clear around, and no question, face masking call on that.
23-yard return by Vaughn, and they'll add more because of this penalty.
No infraction on the play. First down.
No infraction. Watch Jeff Cummins with that right arm. He has his hands around the head of Terry Vaughn. I guess what the official saw is that he didn't get all the way to the mask. He just had it on the back of the helmet.
So no penalty there, but pretty good field position on a great return by Terry Vaughn.
Superfan section checking around.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary. It is time for the Stampeders to respond. They're across midfield into Ticat territory, ready to begin this drive. They're down 20-11. 9 points to make up to get even. Garcia looking for Pitts. There's a little bumping down there, and it's picked off. Grabbed by Derek Greer.
John Garcia took a huge hit and didn't get enough on that football. You got to credit the defensive line. We talk about sacks, coverage sacks. This was defensive line that gave Derek Greer the interception on a throw that Jeff Garcia didn't get out of there. Great pressure up front. I believe it was Mike Philbrick who got the pressure up the middle. Watch the hit that Garcia's going to take right in the numbers and then pile drive right into the turf. And you can see the route up there by Alan Pitts in behind Derek Greer, but because Garcia had got hammered, he turns around and comes up with the interception because Garcia just didn't get enough on that football after that huge hit.
First down of the Tiger Cats 14.
Mike Philbrick arrived Saturday. He's in uniform tonight and makes a huge play for the Tiger Cats. Philbrick sat out training camp as McManus missed Amerson there on first down Hamilton.
Well, it's an amazing story. A few days ago, Philbrick decides to come back and has a change of heart. He retired after the end of last season, has a change of heart. Of course, the Hamilton Tiger Cat organization very happy to have him back in there. Last year, he had a career-high 7 sacks, and Jeff Garcia has a cut on the chin because of Philbrick's hit.
I don't think happy is really the adequate description. I think much more like ecstatic.
Yeah.
Philbrick back. He was an Eastern All-Star in '96. McManus on 2nd and 10. As Archie Amerson made the catch, couldn't turn the corner. Coleman was up.
You know, Hamilton has looked so good offensively throughout this game, but it looks to me in the last couple of drives they've become a little conservative, and Danny McManus hasn't been as sharp. What they have to guard against here, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, is not to just sort of sit on this lead and be happy with it and try and keep things going. Ron Lancaster knows that there's a lot of football to be played, and Calgary has a pretty potent offense.
20-11. Ticats still on top of the Stampeders. 9 points is not enough to feel comfortable for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, even looking at how well the Tiger Cats have played on both sides of the football here tonight. Osbaldiston will kick it away from deep in his zone inside the 5. So the Stampeders get good field position almost automatically. And then there's Coleman's return that starts at the 45 and continues to the 55, to the 50, and down the sideline. Super return. Stampeders are cooking on a 24-yard return.
Let's go break it up, Wellesley.
Yeah, let's get down there. That's my kind of action.
Oh, it's heating up here.
As I told you today, I've only lost the one fight.
That was the last one, right?
That was the only one I was in. Timeout at McMahon Stadium. The Stampeders have a great opportunity to get back in this one when we return. Stampeders sidelines with the Ticats in control. What's with Garcia?
Yeah, right, John. Garcia got rocked a little bit out on the turf. He has a cut on his chin. They fixed it up. It's not bleeding bad. They say they just wanted to get Dickinson into the game, but Garcia looks a little glassy in the eyes. He's wobbling around, so he might be hurt.
I would think he's shaken up at least after that hit by Philbrick. A little wonky down there. Dickinson's first pass is incomplete.
Well, it was a huge hit, and he's got the gauze on the chin there. Mike Philbrick came up the middle in that last series and just drilled Garcia as he threw the football. And he got his helmet right underneath the chin and then drove it into the turf. And, I mean, the Calgary bench can say whatever, but I think he's
I'm not buying what the Calgary bench is saying.
I think he's shaken up.
He is. 2nd and 10. Dave Dickinson at the controls for the Stampeders. Here comes the charge. Dickinson escapes, but not for long. He's wrapped up by Gonzalo Floyd, Justin Ring, Jeff Cummins. Did I miss anybody?
Well, it's basically a team meeting, Hamilton team meeting on Dickinson on the sideline. He gets flushed by Jeff Cummins, but it's really just a team meeting. They're all in there to try and get a piece of him. Even Eric Carr to the corner came up for some fun, and Don Southern is doing a super job of coordinating this defense that has truly looked awesome here tonight in Calgary.
Give this guy a lot of credit. He was a defensive coordinator with the Calgary Stampeders a few years ago, and actually it was Don Southern who introduced the tweener to Canadian football by putting Darryl Hall in at linebacker from the secondary from being a defensive back.
Well, the tweener, of course, meaning, yeah, it's an in-between player. A little bigger than a defensive back, a little smaller than a linebacker.
And Darryl Hall is really the prototype for that in Canadian football. They're getting the same thing the Tiger Cats this year from their linebacker who came in as a defensive back, Joe Higgins. Here's the field goal try. And McLaughlin gets the Stampeders 3 points closer.
McLaughlin from 48 yards out.
It's a 6-point ball game. The Ticats trying to protect the lead with 7:12 to go at McMahon Stadium. Adidas Friday Night Football begins for 1998 with a great one. We're off to Taylor Field tomorrow to watch the return of Bobby Jurison as a member of the Toronto Argonauts. And I don't know if there are a whole pile of tickets left, but if you want to join us at Taylor Field,
that's the number to call. And Al Ford, the general manager, says at Taylor Field, there's never a sellout. So call that number and get a ticket. Bobby Jurison is going to be wearing an Argo jersey. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, the other part of that story is apparently tickets have been moving rather quickly since the Jurison trade to Toronto. Archie Amerson tried to make the catch. It looks like a loose ball down there, recovered by Dave Hack.
Well, I think they're ruling, they're ruling it was incomplete. Archie Amerson really didn't have control of the ball when he got hit. The ball popped out after that. They're ruling it an incomplete pass.
Better safe than sorry. Anyway, back to Taylor Field on Friday night for our first session of Friday Night Football. It'll be very interesting to watch the play of Bobby Jurison as a Toronto Argonaut after all those years as a Saskatchewan Rough Rider.
Well, we talked about Hamilton, John, becoming a little complacent here in the fourth quarter. They really need to get a drive together. Calgary has got some momentum back in this football game.
And they've narrowed the gap. This is 2nd and 10, and McManus maybe a little too slow in getting it underway. A couple of flags are down. In fact, there are 3.
Well, they'll sort it out. Danny McManus got into a bit of a staggered snap count, and it looked like he partially drew Jeff Traversy offside. Now, did he draw him off, or did he just step offside? That's what they're deciding now. Traversy says, they drew me off. Can't do that. That's a legal procedure.
Well, we can't get no call.
Offside, 95 Calgary. Legal procedure, 64 Hamilton. Second down repeated.
Well, they were both wrong. Quite a football game to kick off this season for the Stampeders. And the Tiger Cats. Danny McManus has had a nice night, 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Archie Amerson has done well. Stampeders really struggled in the first half.
Well, you know what, though? It's still a game. It's a 6-point game here. Calgary has some momentum. I think there's a few pages left to write in this story.
Early movement from the Stampeders side of things as McManus winds up.
Morielli, number 18, makes the catch, and again, there's another flag down.
Morielli coming up with a football.
Well, this will be an interesting call. Because Morielli is definitely short of the first down.
And it was 2nd and 10.
Calgary's had some penalties during this game that have cost them dearly.
Offside, 92 Calgary, second down repeated.
Another one right there. That's a big one.
Steve Anderson caught that time. He played 10 games for the Stampeders last year, had some injury problems.
Means another football for the stay in school section.
Well, they have had some penalty problems in this game. You know that Wally Bono will not deal with that because there's been a couple that have really hurt the Calgary Stampeders.
That turns this into 2nd and 5. McManus shotgun. He needs 5. Just about had it picked off by Jack Kellogg. Morielli was the target, and I think McManus got away with one right here.
Well, it was a great break to the football. Defensive backs, good ones anyway, have good closing speed, and when that ball was in the air, Jack Kellogg broke on it, really had 2 hands. It would have been a tough catch, but superb coverage, Jack Kellogg.
Stamps have a couple of interceptions tonight, both by William Hampton. Back near the 20, the Stampeder returners are ready. And at the 25, Osbaldiston on 3rd down. Better kick away from Vaughn. He may not have a play on it. There will be no return. So the Stamps will start near the 25 after a 45-yard
46 yards.
Osbaldiston punts.
Well, Jeff Garcia had a chance to shake off the cobwebs. Looks like he'll be back in the football game. That big hit from Mike Philbrick, he got a chance for one series to kind of shake it off and get back in the game. You know that Jeff Garcia is the guy that they're going to go with throughout this season.
It'd be tough to keep on the bench, but he was a little wonky.
He was a little glassy-eyed over there.
So a brief moment of glory for Dave Dickinson, and he really didn't accomplish very much.
1st and 10 from the 25.
20-14, a 6-point ball game. Touchdown wins it for the Stampeders unless the Ticats come roaring right back. Vaughn with coverage that time by Eric Carter. But lots of time to go, and Garcia has struggled at times tonight. He's looking at 2nd and 10 at the Calgary 26.
Well, you know, the expectations coming into this game for Jeff Garcia were so high that the frustration early has probably got to him a little bit. You know, you come in, everyone's talking about you being the quarterback of the year and how much you've improved and how the knee is right and you're throwing the ball well, and things don't go good early, you start to get frustrated.
I think that sums it up pretty well. He has been frustrated at times. 2nd and 10, the big charge, another hit.
Garcia has to get rid of it quickly.
And Garcia
took
it in the stomach that time.
Well, that's what I was going to say, John. You know, we just talked about Garcia and how he struggled, but all night the Calgary receivers have been blanketed by that secondary in Hamilton. Garcia has taken some big hits. There's been consistent pressure from the Hamilton front four. I mean, Joe Mumford has been in the backfield throughout the game. Calvin Tiggle has done a nice job eliminating the running game from Kelvin Anderson. This has been a solid defensive effort from the Hamilton Tiger Cats from start to finish.
Martino back near his 12. Ticats have not had big returns so far tonight. Bobby Olive gets about 4.
Bobby Olive, number 88, on the return, 4 yards.
44-yard punts.
Jason Clement.
And McManus has his hands on the football again. This is
43 yards on the kick.
A very effective player for the Tiger Cats tonight. Archie Amerson with a couple of touchdowns, including the beautiful 74-yarder.
Well, last year as a Hamilton Tiger Cat, Archie Amerson caught almost as many balls as he touched out of the running back position on handoff. So obviously it's no secret how they're going to use Archie Amerson, and that'll be half the time as a receiver and half the time as a running back. And tonight it's been the receiver part of his game that has come up big for Ron Lancaster.
Lancaster has 4:14 on the clock. mark a couple of points before he turns it back to the Stampeders. Fired a little short by McManus.
Flutie, number 82. It comes up incomplete.
Darren Flutie. Has to be
He's
the
had a couple
happiest
of those.
quarterback in the history of football, doesn't he?
Well, usually you don't see any expression, so at least it's nice to see something. But he knows that he had Darren Flutie open, just didn't get him the ball where he wanted it to, and he'll come back in the huddle, and the first thing he'll do is turn to his number one target and say, "My fault." Which Darren Flutie, I'm sure, will say, "Yeah, you're right. It was.
It was your fault." Not a bad bet. He'll go right back to him here on 2nd and 10. On the intended target, Ronald Williams.
Intended for number 24, Ronald Williams.
Anthony McClanahan lined him up.
Third down, Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton has had some trouble during the game setting up this screen pass. They try to do it again to Ronald Williams, but this time, boy, Alondra Johnson sniffs it out, and he just tattoos Ron Williams. You see 24 right there in the middle, try to roll out. Watch the hit. Now, you know when the running back's head snaps back like that, that's a huge hit, and Alondra Johnson just made Ron Williams pay.
Osbaldiston at his 30 with 3:36 unofficially on the clock. It's a 6-point ball game. Tiger Cats on top of the Stampeders. Big charge, and a flag does come down on the kicker, Osbaldiston, or near the kicker, Paul Osbaldiston.
Doesn't matter about this end.
This could be interesting here.
Farrell Duclair tried to block that punt by Paul Osbaldiston. Now, the key is this. If you're going to block the punt, you have to get your hands on it. Once you sell out and commit, like Farrell Duclair did, if you don't get your hands on the football and you make contact with the kicker,
Calgary 28.
That's the result.
First down, Hamilton.
Ticats get it right back. Long walk over for Farrell Duclair.
Here's a look at it now. Did he get his hands on that football? He'll come and dive into your screen right there and then hit Osbaldiston as he goes down. Now, the rule says when that foot leaves the ground, that right foot of Osbaldiston leaves the ground, he cannot be contacted until the foot again touches the ground. And I think it was up there long enough, and that's a good call by the officials.
There's the explanation on the sidelines.
First and 10.
For Duclair, feeling a little lonely right now. 5 first downs by penalty for the Tiger Cats here tonight. Ronald Williams spinning for about 3 yards.
24, again tackled after about 3.
3-minute warning up. Still not an easy time for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They won't be breathing easily for a while in spite of a 6-point advantage they have on the Stampeders here at McMahon. 3 minutes to go. We'll be back for it. Ron Lancaster knows there's too much time on that clock right now to feel comfortable at all. 2:54 to go in the final quarter. And looking back, this stadium has not been kind to the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Does that say 1988?
It says 1988.
Wow.
9 years ago.
Now, in fairness, Ron Lancaster had to check the Hamilton fact book to find that one out because he wasn't the coach with the Ticats throughout those years, but yikes.
And this one is not in the bag by any stretch of the imagination, Glenn. Ticats and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at Ivor Wynne. The opener is July 8th. We'll be there. Hope you'll join us. Ticket information and tickets are available by contacting the Tiger Cats. It'll be blacked out in the Hamilton area, so.
Well, I think win, lose, or draw, they deserve a look-see.
They deserve a look-see.
Played a pretty good game here tonight.
Second down, 7 to go for the Tiger Cats.
Actually, it'll be a great game if they hang on and win it. Very surprising Tiger Cat offense. We knew they'd be better. We didn't know how much better. Batted down on McManus on 2nd down and 7. Jeff Traversy is celebrating for Calgary, so the Stamps get their hands right back on the football with lots of time to get to the end zone. McClanahan is celebrating as well.
Well, the Calgary defense has really started to come up big in the 4th quarter. Late in this 4th quarter, Jeff Travesy's had a couple big plays. Greg Knox from the safety position had a knockdown a series ago, and I think Alondra Johnson has also been a key. Alondra Johnson and that front 7 have really picked it up in this 4th quarter and given Calgary a chance to come back.
Yes, it hasn't been consistent all night long, but they have hurried McManus a couple of times. They've batted a couple down, and they've sacked him once. Balderston kicking again. Ticats did move the ball a little bit, so Calgary will begin deep unless there's a great return here. Bobbled by Coleman, and no return at all. Stamps will begin at the 25.
And that's exactly what you were mentioning earlier, John, that Danny McManus has had a little pressure on him late in this fourth quarter. Couple knockdowns, couple of hurries, sack.
Starting over in Section A on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, let's
Now it's Garcia in the spotlight. With 2:25 to go, he's down by 6, and he has to move the Stampeders. He'll begin from the 25-yard line. Shotgun, Garcia. Little out pattern, far side. Anderson made the catch, and he's wrestled out by 3 Tiger Cats. Tiggle is there, so is Philbrick.
After a gain of about 3 yards.
And Steinauer.
Not a bad play on first down. Nice safe pass out to Kelvin Anderson. Try and pick up a couple yards and get yourself possibly in second and medium. They're a little more than that on this case, in this case, but not a bad play on first down.
Stamps looking at 2nd and 7. And a clock ticking down with an unofficial 2 minutes and 9 seconds on it right now. Garcia got a little bit of a charge, but he got it to Alan Pitts. Big first down. Calgary out across the 40-yard line.
When the chips are on the line, John, you go to your big play guys. And Alan Pitts has struggled throughout this game, but you know that your veterans and your star players will continue to work. And when the chips are down, you got to go to him. Alan Pitts finds a hole, and you know he's going to make that catch.
Garcia, deep drop.
Garcia's pass is tipped.
He was hurried, and he's angry. Not even close.
Well, Gonzalo Floyd, I believe it was, got his hands on that football.
Pitts made the big catch for a key first down. On 2nd and 7, now the Stampeders look at 2nd and 10. Out near the 45. Critical play here with 1:49 to go.
Oh, this is a big one.
Garcia looks deep. Pitts was the target, and he draws a flag on coverage by Gerald Vaughn.
Well, Rob Hitchcock is complaining that that ball was not catchable. Gerald Vaughn on the sideline. There was definite contact with Pitts down the sideline. Hitchcock's complaint, it wasn't a catchable pass.
Another flag in the Stampeders' backfield. So a couple to sort out here with 1:42 to go.
You know, forward pass interference, Hamilton 39. Major foul, roughing the passer.
Oh,
Hamilton
boy.
number 15. First down.
And they get the newcomer Joe Higgins, do they, on the passer?
Okay, first jam there was okay. That jam is where the penalty occurs. No question, pass interference. The argument was whether or not it was uncatchable. Here's roughing the passer on Garcia. 2 or 3 steps after he throws the ball, Joe Higgins, the newcomer, comes up and hits him. He gets that call as well, and all of a sudden, Calgary's on the doorstep.
Net gain for the Stampeders, 46 yards on 2 penalties. Calgary has a chance to win it here. Stampeders with a first down at the Ticat 21-yard line. They've trailed all night long, but are only down by 6 points. Garcia trying to buy some time. Incomplete. And Garcia on his backside again.
He can't make the one-hander. It's incomplete.
Well, there's good pressure along that defensive front 4 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Garcia doesn't see anything initially. Gonzalo Floyd coming from the outside, flushes him up in the middle. And Alan Pitts was wide open, but that's what pressure will do for you. When your quarterback is looking at the defensive lineman, he can't look downfield to see a receiver. Pitts was open, but Garcia couldn't find him.
2nd and 10, Stampeders. They're at the Tiger Cat 21. It's a 6-point ball game. Touchdown ties it with a convert. The Stampeders could move in front. But here's the critical play right now. 2nd and 10, Garcia can't get it away. makes the catch. Garcia, a miracle throw.
Well, Derek Greer is waving like he bounced off the turf, but they're marking the ball. What an unbelievable play by Jeff Garcia, who basically improvised throughout this one, and Pitts kept working.
Watch closely here.
He's open, but Garcia can't throw the ball at this point. He keeps working to get into a lane, a throwing lane for Garcia. Now watch the improvisation by Garcia. He's trying to look down the field to the right, doesn't see anything, and as he's going down, lets this one go.
You got to be lucky to be good, good to be lucky. Stampeders are set up inside the 10-yard line. 3 cracks at it from there. Garcia behind the target. Kelvin Anderson. 1:03 to go. Ticats are hanging on by their fingernails with a 6-point lead. It's been a whale of a ball game. The Stampeders really started a little late, didn't they?
Well, they've started late, but they never lost their composure. Ron Lancaster knows how good they are personnel-wise. Great players make big plays when it matters. And right now, Jeff Garcia has found a way to get his team in scoring position with a chance to win this one.
And Alan Pitts has been a big story late in the ball game. 2nd and goal to go. The Stampeders are at the Ticats 7-yard line. 1:02 to go. Garcia, end zone toss, touchdown. Oh my! Travis Moore. Garcia has brought them all the way back. We're tied at McMahon.
29,000 fans are pretty happy right now. They had to wait, but I think the wait was worth it. Ron Lancaster knows there's still time for his team to come out and have a chance, but
Travis Moore has a couple of touchdown receptions tonight to counteract 2 for the Tiger Cats by Archie Amerson. 54 seconds on the clock.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Hamilton started to slow down offensively, and Jeff Garcia and this Calgary team started to build a little momentum.
Stampeders in the lead for the first time all night long. 54 seconds remain at McMahon Stadium.
They hung around, John. They hung around. They never lost their composure. Their defense kept hanging in there and kept coming up with the football. Alan Pitts comes up big when it matters. Alan Pitts was open on the touchdown pass, but it was Travis Moore who comes up with a big catch in the end zone. Lots of time for Garcia. He looks to Pitts, but then decides to come back to the middle, and a great throw to lead Travis Moore to the back of the end zone.
Happiest guy in the ball yard, Jeff Garcia, who's paid the price to be a quarterback tonight. He's taken some big hits, including the one that had him out on the sidelines for a little bit of time by Mike Philbrick. But right now, Moore with 2 touchdowns. Garcia has tossed 2. And the Stampeders have a 1-point lead.
Well, that really is a tribute to Jeff Garcia. I mean, here's a guy who a couple of plays ago was pounded in the chin, got up, brushed himself off, and comes back and throws a touchdown pass with the game on the line.
Ticats are ready for their last gasp now. Hagen's returning. Not a bad return. He breaks into the open at around the 40 and is dropped near the 50-yard line.
There's plenty of time.
37 seconds for the Tiger Cats. Don't forget, it's Danny McManus at the controls. He's had a marvelous evening thus far. And a field goal can win it for Hamilton.
He did it to the Calgary Stampeders in their home opener last year with about 1 minute and 50 seconds left, scored twice. He knows how to get it done. He'll be in the hurry up, and in 47 seconds in the CFL, you can execute probably 6 or 7 plays.
Let's see what he's got here. Beginning at the 49. McManus takes off. First run of the night. He doesn't run off, and he's got about 8.
And Alondra Johnson has to be careful. He doesn't get a penalty tacked on there. When the quarterback hook slides feet first, you can't hit him. And Alondra Johnson dove over that pile and got a little contact on McManus. Fortunately for Calgary, he didn't get the flag.
It opened up for McManus for a 7-yard gain. Ticats 2nd and 3 right about midfield. He'll throw it this time. No catch.
He had the target. It was Flutie. He couldn't come down with it.
Jack Kellogg has played an outstanding game at the halfback position. It's a new spot for him. He hasn't played there before. He used to be the extra defensive back. He's come out and played a great game. He's been covering Darren Flutie most of the night, and we haven't talked a lot about Darren Flutie. That time, Kellogg gets his hand in there and knocks that one out.
Third down and 3. And the Tiger Cats are going for it. McManus has a first down. Almost no catch. He had the receiver. McManus just misses, and the Stampeders get the football right back.
Tremendous break, John, by Anthony McClanahan, who came from the linebacker position, flew out to the flat or the short side of the field, and put a pretty good lick on Darren Flutie.
Ticats a first down away from having the opportunity to win their first game of 1998.
Big play right here by Anthony McClanahan to get to the outside in a hurry, John. He reads this play. Watch him fly out to the flat. As soon as that ball's delivered, he puts the hit on Darren Flutie, who probably should have come up with it anyway.
I think it was a catchable ball despite the coverage. Garcia has a chance to knock 30 seconds off the clock and claim Calgary's victory. A come from behind effort over a very spirited Hamilton Tiger Cat team who will be very disappointed at losing this one.
No question. There's going to be disappointment on the Hamilton bench, and it's going to be a long plane ride back. Ron Lancaster feels this one right in the middle of his stomach because his team dominated this football game until the last 2 minutes.
Stampeders were beatable tonight.
No question about it. Danny McManus knows that he let one slip away.
7 seconds to go. Kelvin Anderson gets rid of about 5.
Look at this. Jeff Garcia's got blood on his nose. He's got the cut on the chin. He gets hit, has to take a whole series off just to get his senses back, and comes back and throws the winning touchdown with time running out.
Lancaster came close. The Ticats played well. The Stampeders were too much in the end. A great comeback for Calgary fans and a 1-point win for the Stampeders over the Tiger Cats at McMahon tonight. What a football game from start to finish.
It truly was, John. And the night when we're celebrating the birth of Canada, looks like we may be celebrating the rebirth of this league. What a great game.
Happy Canada Day to you, too. Stampeders win by a point. It was in Ron Lancaster's grasp, and it slipped away in the final few seconds. A great beginning to the 1998 CFL season. A couple of great games on TSN today.
Tough loss for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Big sigh of relief for the Calgary Stampeders. And we have the hero of the game right now. Jeff Garcia joins us. Jeff, you almost get knocked into Thursday by Mike Philbrick, and you come back on that last drive. A couple of great plays.
Finally, we were able to put something together on that last drive. You know, the team stepped up. Defense played great in the second half. We owe it all to them. I mean, it was a battle. Hamilton played great defensively. They're a tough team. They're going to be a great team this year. Hey, they're going to be right there in the end.
Jeff, Eric Tillman, the second half seemed to be, you know, a real improvement for you. In the first half, though, was Hamilton doing something coverage-wise that confused you?
No, not really. I mean, what they were doing was they were taking away our outs. We like to throw the outs to Vince Danielson, to Alan Pitts. DBs were playing outside of our receivers, making it difficult. First down, they were playing all man. We were struggling. We weren't clicking on all cylinders. And you know, my hat's off to them. They played great defensively. They dominated the line of scrimmage, or they kept control of the ball the whole first half. And you know, finally we came through in that second half.
Jeff, Chris Schultz here. You took a really heavy shot from Michael Philbrick. How shaken up were you? Was it just a matter you had to go to the sidelines, clear your head a little bit, or was there a little bit more to it? Because it almost seems like you had your best success after that hit.
Well, you know, it wasn't so much that I was shaken up. He split my jaw open. It's something that's happened before. And, you know, Fortunately, I was able to come back from it. I didn't want to come out of the game. You know, I think that would have been the worst situation for me, to sit out the second half. And you know, we were in a battle. I wanted to be in there, and I knew I could come through. It's just a matter of time.
Jeff, I want to talk about the play right before the touchdown to Alan Pitts. You're running for your life. Describe it to us.
I don't even remember the play right now. I mean, I remember the play that Al, you're talking about. I kind of scrambled out, just buying time. I don't remember the route, but Alan came into my sights, and I barely got it to him. I know it fluttered to him. He made a great catch. I wasn't sure if it was going to reach him. Fortunately, it did. It gave us a first down and a chance to get 3 more downs, 3 more cracks at the end zone.
All right, Jeff, congratulations. Great game.
Thank you very much.
Jeff Garcia, the quarterback of the Calgary Stampeders, who tweaked one out tonight by a point over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll be back right after this with more post-game action from Calgary. All right, welcome back to TSN Control. The Calgary Stampeders 21-20 victorious over the Hamilton Tiger Cats tonight. Chris Schultz, devastating loss for the Tiger Cats. They had this one the whole game. What does Ron Lancaster say to his team?
Well, I think the biggest thing that he says is, number one, guys, you can't accept this. I mean, they did a number of things extremely well. You look at them offensively, Danny McManus had over 300 yards. They found some type of solidness or some type of cohesiveness in an offensive line that was put together on very short notice. Seth Dittman, the left tackle, was very unnoticed, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want to do. They may have found a player that can play in that position for quite a while. They spread the ball around extremely well, Hamilton, and this is not something that they've had much success with in the past. Everybody contributed on the offensive side of the football, and then defensively, they really confused Garcia and Calgary's offense. Calgary really, for all intents and purposes, could not get their rhythm going until those last 2 minutes. But going into the locker room, Lancaster has to tell his players, guys, remember what this feels like. We must avoid this feeling at all costs. We're here and we are paid to win games, not to play exceptionally well for 57 minutes. And then Eric, on the other hand, it's almost like Wale Buono would say the opposite. Guys, we are paid to play more than 3 minutes. You know, the first 57 minutes for Calgary was, you don't want to say pathetic, but it wasn't Calgary's type of game, their football style.
Well, certainly not the way that Calgary wanted to start the season, Chris. But, you know, the great thing about a championship team is that they find a way to win, and particularly winning a game when you play ugly. And the teams that win championships, like the Toronto Argonauts last year, found a way to win the games when they weren't in sync. And to credit to Wally's group, they did. But it is a 60-minute game, and I think they've have to go back, and it has to be a gut check. They were not ready to play tonight. In the first half, Hamilton was the hammer and Calgary was the nail, and they were very, very fortunate to come out with a win. But you know, you look at their home record in the 1990s. Calgary now is 66-7. That's incredible, and that says something about not only their talent, but something about their mindset, James, and they find a way to get it done.
All right, guys, all the Calgary Stampeders breathing a sigh of relief. One of them, Vince Danielson, who had a pretty good night, 5 catches, Vince, but the offense had some problems early. What was Hamilton doing to you guys?
Well, I think that if you look in the past, Hamilton's always played us well. They've played our 5 receivers well. They play very physical, and it's something where, you know, tonight we came out, we weren't clicking. But I think that what we showed today was down the stretch, we believed in each other. We had a lot of confidence in each other, and we got the job done when we needed. And although we didn't play well, we still have to look at the positives and what we did at the end there.
Vince, Chris Schultz here. You have to be impressed to an extent with the Hamilton Ticats. They made some personnel moves. They shut you guys down in certain situations. But another aspect of your football team, those critical penalties. The penalties balanced out pretty much, Vince, but the one area you guys have to be concerned about is enhancing those first down possibilities with these penalties.
When you got a team coming in like Hamilton, they're kind of pulling for anything they can get. In the first half, we gave up a lot of penalties, and that gave them a momentum. And with a team like that, they're going to feed off momentum all year. We gave it to them right away, and I'm glad down the stretch they even things up.
Vince, Eric Tillman, have to ask you about Jeff Garcia, his leadership, his toughness. For a while there, he looked like he had been in a boxing match, not a football game. What does he bring to the huddle?
Well, I tell you, I went back in the huddle, and Jeff's bleeding from the chin. I think his right eye was pointed right, his left one was over this way. And this guy is just he's a leader, and he made some great throws down the stretch. And when we look at him as after this game, he's just a leader, and no one can question that. And he showed it tonight. He made some great throws down the stretch, and we're looking at that all year from Jeff.
All right, Vince, thanks very much. Enjoy this one. It was close.
All right, thanks, guys. We will enjoy it.
All right. When we come back, a sports desk update, and we'll be back to talk some more football and wrap things up from here.